Welcome, football fans, to your live stream for the 2025 NFL Draft. I'm Mitch. This is the Bottom Line View, and in this live reaction, all first round long of the 2025 NFL Draft, I will provide my thoughts, my analysis, my reactions to every pick in the first round of the 2025 NFL Draft. If that sounds good, and you haven't already, Gronk, spike the like button. Don't forget, don't be a jabroni, and if you're not subscribed, subscribe. We're going to have a fun time, man. We're going to talk about what could happen, what will happen, and what does happen. I'm going to give you my honest opinion, my honest analysis. And the way that I look at the draft is every team is going to have a different board. Every team is going to have different rankings for each position. I'm going to look at it more so from the perspective of the NFL teams, what they need, what positions they should be drafting, and which players I believe suit those teams best. And from there, I'm going to give you my grade for each pick. I'm going to give you my thoughts on whether or not your team picked a productive player for their team right now entering 2025, or whether I think that pick sucks and, they got an F, okay? So let's have a good time, man. The NFL Draft is always a spectacle. It's always eventful. It's always dramatic, and I can't wait to see what happens. We have a decent idea of what's going to happen at the top, but now there have been reports that Travis Hunter at number 2, he might not be going to the Browns. He might be going to a different team. The Browns are opening their phones to potential trades, so we got to watch out for that high in the draft. I'm also going to be going off of the TV broadcast, so I'm not going to be looking at my phone for the early tweets of the picks. I'm going to purely base my reaction off of the broadcast so that you guys can get the best possible reaction from me, okay? So if that sounds good, let me know in the chat. What's going on, everybody? Sing, Big Al, Deshaun are all in the chat. Singh says he has a hot take that the Cardinals will trade up for Will Johnson. Okay, I don't know if they'll need to trade up, but we'll see. Singh also says he's glad that the Eagles won the Super Bowl for Big Al. And Big Al says he's still on a high nearly 3 months later. Skull from Vikings fan 123. Rogers Perk in the chat. What's up, bro? Funky Lions, thank you for joining the chat, man. He says, what's good, everyone? Guys, tell your friends about this stream if they don't already know that Mitch is live on the Bottom Line View to talk NFL Draft. Also, make sure to like the video. It does help. There's going to be a lot of competition across the platform tonight. So if you guys do like the video, it does help other people find the stream and help the channel out. So that would really be appreciated, guys. I don't really care, honestly, like what happens in terms of how many people show up, or I have no idea what's going to happen. I just want to have fun. So if you guys are down to have fun, stick with me tonight and leave your comments, because I definitely want to hear from you guys. You guys are going to make this show as good as it gets, okay? If you guys are really into it, then this is going to be a fun stream. Mark says, how's it going, Mitch? I'm doing well, Mark. Thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate the comment. He says, hope the Cardinals nail a gem at pick 16. Yeah, we're going to talk about each team. I think in terms of the Cardinals, we can start there. I think the Cardinals, ideally, I think if they got Will Johnson, I think that would be perfect. In my opinion, that is their biggest need, perimeter corner. We've talked about it many times, like their need for that position being that they were the worst team at perimeter corner in 2024. It would make sense that Will Johnson could be their pick. There's not really another guy at corner that is expected to go that high. Barron out of Texas, in my opinion, is more projected as a nickel, and that is not a position the Cardinals need. So if they could get Will Johnson, that would be big time. I think Jahad Campbell should certainly be discussed when it comes to the Cardinals. I think they could use an upgrade at linebacker, and he's a big-time player. I also would say that maybe offensive line could be somewhere that they would look, maybe even wide receiver. I think there are multiple situations or players that they could go after. The edge rusher is possible, But they did sign Josh Sweat, so I don't necessarily know if they're going to put more resources into that position this offseason. They spent a first-round pick on that position last year, so I would probably say Johnson, Campbell, maybe an offensive lineman if one of them fall, maybe an edge rusher if one of them fall that they really like. Defensive tackle, they have a couple older guys, Campbell and Tomlinson, so we'll see if they want to get a youthful guy in there as well. Honestly, defense would just be my preferred choice for the Cardinals, but it kind of depends on what they want to do there. Funky Lions fan says, hey, Big Al, just expecting to not even see my squad make a pick tonight. You want to trade back? Is that the rumor, Funky Lions fan? The Lions are going to trade back or what? Yeah, I think they should go defense, man. That's my opinion, though. If they want to go O-line or wide receiver, I won't give it an F. I'll just kind of like, we'll have to see who's on the board. It always depends on who's on the board in these drafts, right? Like, what could you do? And guys, just for the content that's going to come out after the stream, I will be making a first round grades video where I give you my grades for every pick, and that's going to be an analysis video. I am live on Bleacher Report tomorrow talking about gems in the second round and landing spots for those players. I'll also be doing plenty of grades, day 2 grades, plenty of, recaps, winners, losers of the draft, that sort of thing. So a lot of content coming on the BLV. It's been a little bit of a slow month, I'm not going to lie. April's been kind of a wacky month on the channel. But the off-season content is always where it's at here on the BLV. We're going to have tons of predictions, rankings, all that sort of stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun through May, through June, when other channels start to die down and not pay attention to the NFL. That's really when I get into the nitty-gritty stuff, looking forward to 2025. So I'm looking forward to that. Big Al says, it is packed AF in Green Bay tonight. It's cool to see a draft in Green Bay. I will say that. One of the places that come to mind when you talk about the NFL is Green Bay. So it's cool to see that the draft is there. When it comes to the Tennessee Titans, we're probably going to talk about Cam Ward, but this pick has not really been discussed very much, recently. And there were discussions that the Giants were most aggressive in trying to trade up to number 1, which makes a lot of sense. They have the 3rd pick. They needed a quarterback. But I think once they figured out the Titans weren't going to move off that pick, they signed Russell Wilson, they signed Jameis Winston, right? And they kind of gave themselves that security blanket. We'll talk about Cam Ward when he comes up here, and we'll discuss that. But I think Cam Ward, in my opinion, just the overall quarterback conversation is, I think Cam Ward is by far the best quarterback in this class. I think he's the only quarterback deserving of a first-round pick. I would not pick any of the other quarterbacks in the first round. I think I would probably pick like 3 or 4 in the second round. That would include Tyler Shuck, who is my number 2 quarterback. I think that Shador could go in the second round, and I would be fine with it, as well as Jackson Dart. And I would definitely pick Jalen Milroe for the upside in the second round, just the upside alone. I know he's very raw, but the upside is something you're trying to chase at quarterback. And then I really love Dylan Gabriel. As you guys know, he's not going to go probably in the first 3 rounds, but I would probably pick him in the 3rd round if I had a chance to do it. David says, what are you talking about, David? The clothes these idiots are wearing show their character. Oh, just in general, the players? That's just the way the culture is, man. Certain guys embrace their culture, and they want to show that off, and they want to show off their personalities, right? So yeah, you can read into their clothing a little bit, and you can read into the big fat chains and things like that, and that's just the way they want to showcase. That's what they want to be. I don't really care. I mean, I don't know why anyone should care about that. Unless it's like totally outlandish and ridiculous and they're wearing something stupid. There's Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne. Green Bay Packer fan, Lil Wayne. Looks like James Jones is there as well, rolling up. Thank you guys for joining. We're just getting started. We haven't even announced the first pick yet. We haven't even gotten the draft started yet. It should be starting very shortly here. Make sure to share this video. Gronk spike the like button. And if you haven't, subscribe. Also, if you are a mod, be aware of the bots. If you guys can take care of those, that would be nice. Big Al, get on your game, brother. Caesar, get on your game, brother. Caesar, I don't know if it's possible, but if you could timestamp when the picks are, that would save me so much time. I don't know if you could do that or not, but that would be appreciated. I don't know if that's even possible, but all right. Roger Goodell at the podium right now announcing that the draft is underway. Green Bay may be small, but it's mighty, he says. Go Pack, go chants in Green Bay. James, what's up, James? How you doing, man? Big Al says, my one prediction tonight for the Steelers is if they don't draft Shador, they'll take Jackson Dart. But either way, Pittsburgh's going QB in the first round. Big Al's calling it. Funky Line says, oh, and maybe I just want to trade back because of next year and I want picks for then and now. Then not now. Next year, there's a DN from Bama that I actually want, and his name is Overton. Okay. Clay Matthews, Jordy Nelson, James Jones, Amon Green, and Mason Crosby. Packer legends with Lil Wayne at the start of the draft here. Clay Matthews is reading something from President Trump? Okay, that's a joke. My fellow Americans, the Bears still suck. Okay, that's good. I'll give him credit. I'll give him credit for that. That's good. That popped me. That's good. We got sound effects in the chat.
Shut your mouth, jabroni.
Okay, let's go. I'm ready, Roger. Let's go, buddy. The 2025 NFL Draft is officially underway. And that means Gronk spiked the like button. Let's go. Tennessee Titans are on the clock. The projected pick is quarterback Cam Ward out of Miami. Let's put the graphic up. Tennessee is on the clock. I think this is the most obvious pick of the draft. They're stalling a little bit. So the reason I think Cam Ward is the number one pick is because I think there's three traits that separate Cam Ward. First of all, I love his confidence off the field. I think he has a great demeanor, a great overall aura that I think commands that leadership that a quarterback needs to bring to the NFL. He has great composure on the field when it comes to extending plays, buying time, and finding receivers downfield, which is a big skill currently in the NFL that separates the better quarterbacks, that ability to buy time and be a playmaker on the second play. And then number three, I think he has very good arm strength. He's able to hit every throw, and especially at the middle of the field and the intermediate level, he's got a powerful arm that can make all the necessary big-time NFL throws. The intermediate level of the NFL field, that range, 10 to 20 yards, is where you need to be most successful. I also think he has a great, crisp, quick game. He's got the arm angle dimension of his game that I don't think many of these other quarterbacks offer, where he's able to kind of manipulate his arm slot and make a throw, off of a different platform, off of a different angle, whether it be on a screen pass, whether it be on an RPO, things like that. I think he's also got pretty good size. You look at him, he's got a pretty stocky frame, pretty big overall, not super fast as a quarterback, but he could definitely pick up a couple first downs when he's running. A lot of people have compared him to somebody like Steve McNair, who was a former Tennessee Titan great, one of those pocket-esque, big-armed quarterbacks that could make some plays as an athlete, but was going to make a lot of plays down the field as a passer. And I think he is the quarterback in this class that gives you the best opportunity for a high floor, but also a pretty high ceiling to put you in a place to have a franchise quarterback, right? Like some people might say like Jalen Milroe might have like the highest ceiling just because like he's the best athlete or whatever. Some people might like Shador because he's very accurate. But I think when you put everything together and the off the field and the on the field, I think that Cam Ward is easily the best quarterback that the Titans could pick. And they're still stalling to make this pick official. I think everybody knows it's about to happen. Gronk spiked the like button, guys. 6:40 currently on the clock. We still have Cleveland at the number 2 spot and the Giants at the number 3. There could be a trade at number 2. We're going to keep our eye on that pretty closely here. When talking about the Titans as a team, I think there's a good opportunity to talk about them as a team. I'm not quite sure that I believe that they'll be anything special in 2025. I don't really view them as having the type of team that is going to be able to go from like worst to first or anything like that. But they just signed Tyler Lockett to add a little bit of depth at wide receiver, a vertical dimension to their receiving core. They have Calvin Ridley, who they paid a bag last offseason. He is their number 1 receiver. Van Jefferson also signed this offseason. They have Treylon Burks. I think they could still use a youthful receiver in this class, whether it be in the 2nd or the 3rd round. I think that's a place that they should look. On the offensive line, they spent a lot of capital with Kevin Zeitler and Dan Moore on the offensive line, right? They have Skoronski, they have Lloyd Cushenberry, they have J.C. Latham, who they picked in the 1st round last year, Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears. I think in terms of their offensive line, they're pretty well set for the first few rounds of this draft because they spent so much money on Dan Moore and Zeitler. Zeitler is a short-term placeholder, though, in my opinion. He's a pretty old player, but he's a very good player coming from Detroit. Important to understand is, will Will Levis remain the backup? I think that's an interesting question. Will they actually trade Will Levis? I think that's a question to ask, just because Will Levis might become a bit of a distraction given that he was promised like the future quarterback position of this team, and he's become a little bit of a weird personality to deal with from the coaching staff's perspective. So keep an eye out on that. Defensively, I think the Titans could use an edge rusher in the 2nd or the 3rd round. I think their first few picks after the quarterback, Cam Ward, it should be wide receiver. It should be edge rusher, I believe. I think they could use a linebacker. They did draft Cedric Gray last year. They have Cody Barton, who they signed from Denver. They have Draymond Jones as well on the edge, but I feel like they need an edge rusher. Arden Key and Draymond Jones are more 2s and 3s than 1s as the edge at the edge position. Safety, they did sign Woods. They have Hooker. I think they're okay there. I don't think they need to spend a high pick on that spot. Cornerback, I think they could use an upgrade over Brownlee, but they have Snead, they have McCreary, so I feel like their corner position, at least they have 2 out of the 3. So, yeah, I think the Titans, they should be looking at, after they make this pick, which is in right now, the Tennessee Titans pick is in. Everybody thinks it's going to be Cam Ward. I think it's going to be Cam Ward. We're going to talk about it when it happens, but I think it should be wide receiver, 2nd or 3rd round. Maybe bringing in Tyler Lockett lessens the need of wide receiver extremely early, right? And then you have edge rusher, which they could get a very good edge rusher early in the 2nd round, in my opinion. There's going to be probably 1 or 2 guys that remain from that 1st round that are pretty interesting. My phone is vibrating like a madman. I am purely basing my reaction off of the TV. So I am not going to look at my phone, but I'm sure something is happening right now because there are a lot of tweets going on. What's up, Christian? Says, man, I can't wait to see what my Steelers do at 21. Hopefully trade down and take Jalen Milroe. That could happen. Strawberry says she's here to watch my reaction to the Patriots pick. Well, I hope you stay for the 49ers, or maybe after the 49ers if you want to go check out a 49ers creator or something like that. But we'd love to have you in the chat, Strawberry. Thanks for joining. Who do you think the Patriots take, and who do you want the Patriots to take? I think they'll take Will Campbell. We'll talk about that soon. The Titans pick is officially in. I wish it was the Patriots pick. Cameron Ward. They said the full name on the broadcast. Cameron Ward. The last quarterback to be named Cam to go first overall was Cam Newton. He won an MVP. He went first overall. He went to the Super Bowl. Can Cam Ward have similar success, if not even greater success, than Cam Newton? I don't think he's quite the specimen of that guy, but I do think that he has the intangibles. We talked about already what I think of Cam Ward in terms of, I think he's got that. I really like his zip on quick underneath RPO concepts and the quick game. I think he's very good because he's got that combination of ability to throw from different platforms, different arm angles, and we've got a big trade coming in. And we've also got the arm strength to be able to make those layered throws at the second and the third level as well. But I love his intangibles. I love his confidence. It's a borderline cockiness on the field, off the field. He believes in himself. Everything that comes out of this guy's mouth, right? He's been to 3 different programs. He's been great at 3 different programs. He's gotten better as a player at 3 different programs. And he has the extension skills to be able to make plays on the fly, on the second play. Guys, I talked about Cam Ward already. He was the clear number 1 pick. He's the dude. He's the man. He's the best quarterback in this class by a mile. The Jacksonville Jags have just traded up to number 2 with the Cleveland Browns. It's official. Wow. Honestly, are they going to pick Travis Hunter? Are they going to pick Abdul Carter? I would expect it to be Travis Hunter. I'm not 100% sure. I would expect it to be Travis Hunter. My goodness. Jacksonville is on the clock. I can't wait to see the details of what the trade is. That's what I'm most interested in. What was the trade? What's the trade, guys? Big Al says the Browns are trading the number 2 pick to the Jags. All right, Strawberry, sounds good. Bam says what we all expected. What's up, Bam? Thanks for joining the chat, man. Thank you all for joining the chat. Make sure to Gronk spike the like button. Big trade! Number 2 overall, Jacksonville's moving up. Will it be Travis Hunter? Oh my goodness. So I'm thinking about it. So Travis Hunter at wide receiver to complement Brian Thomas, to help out Trevor Lawrence. Brian Thomas, the big X receiver, flying down the field, fastest man alive. Travis Hunter, you can move him around. You can play him in the slot. You can play him outside. You can get the ball in his hands, make magic that way. He could play corner for Jacksonville and help them at corner where they need a lot of help. This might be the move. This might be the move of the decade. Jacksonville needed a corner and a wide receiver. They might have just got both in one pick. If they pick Carter, I'm going to lose my mind, though. I don't think they're going to pick Carter because they have Josh Allen and they have Trayvon Walker. I don't think they're going to pick Abdul Carter. I could be wrong. They might just get 2 needs in one pick. Well, I think a majority of people see Hunter as a better wide receiver, and I do as well. But I think he's going to play both. The plan is that he's going to play both. What is the trade, bro? Somebody give me the trade. ESPN. Put it on the screen, jabronis. I'm not checking my phone. Durkant says the Jags got scammed. Strawberry says, also Mitch, how random was that Texans trade with the Browns earlier? It was kind of random, but the Texans wanted more draft picks to maybe be able to trade up. Mark says, could imagine they pick Carter. Never know with the Jags. It's possible. He's a great player. I just don't think it makes a lot of sense given their depth chart. I think the clear pick here is Travis Hunter, but also, what's up, Cat? My phone is going crazy, man. I might have to put that in the drawer, bro. I know that, James. Jeez, I'm trying to figure out what the trade is. The pick is in. Jacksonville. Second overall. Still don't know. Jag's going to take Genty. Nope, that's not happening. Okay, here it is. The Jags receive the second overall pick, a 4th round pick, and a 6th round pick for a 5th, 2nd, and 4th round this year, and a 1st next year. Jacksonville is crazy, bro. Holy shit. Yo, Jacksonville is off their rocker. They must think Travis Hunter is the best player ever, bro. Holy smokes. Hold on. Okay, so the 5th, they moved up 3 spots, and they got a 4th and a 6th back. They traded their 2nd round pick and a future 1st and something else. The Browns got some draft picks, bro. Holy. Eric Armstead is here to announce the pick. What? My goodness. If you like crazy trades during the draft, Gronk, spike the like button and subscribe. The pick is in. I'm checking the details on Twitter right now. I got to recheck that. Again, the Browns receive a 5th overall pick, 36th overall pick, 126th overall pick. So their 1st, their 2nd, their 4th, and a future 1st for the 2nd the 2nd overall pick, 4th round, and a 6th round pick. Wow. Wow. Okay, Armstead, announce the damn pick, bro. The Cleveland Browns have traded the 2nd pick to the Jacksonville Jags. With the 2nd pick, the Jacksonville Jags select Travis Hunter, corner wide receiver out of Colorado. 2nd overall via trade. It's official. Now breaking it down. He could play offense. He could play defense. I think he's better at receiver than corner. He's going to be awesome with Brian Thomas. You're going to be able to do whatever you want with him. He's going to come in as the number 2 wide receiver. You're going to be able to have a guy that I think can make something happen with the ball in his hands, that you can put up in the slot. You can throw screens to. You can you can give handoffs, things like that. He's going to be a playmaker for this offense for Liam Cohen. I don't know if I could say there's a comp there. Like, I can't say that Liam Cohen is going to use him like Chris Godwin, right? I can't really say that. Maybe a little bit. But I feel like Hunter, he just has this rare blend of body control, ability to catch the ball with an incredible radius. Like I said in one of my videos, he could catch 10 touchdowns in a year, and he could also have 100 catches. That's the type of receiver we're talking about here. So he has some room to grow, but the good thing for Travis Hunter is he doesn't need to be counted on right away to be the number 1 receiver while he's trying to figure out the game of the NFL, trying to develop as both a wide receiver and a corner. And on top of being a talented receiver and helping out Trevor Lawrence, which is exactly what Jacksonville wanted to do, right? He's going to elevate their offense. That was their biggest need on offense, in my opinion, wide receiver. One of their biggest needs on defense was corner. So this is a guy that plays both positions. I think that Hunter is ideal defensively as a nickel corner or maybe a safety. I do wonder about his speed, as a press corner. I think he's probably better in zone than man coverage as a cornerback. But I feel like his ball skills and his ability to read and react to the quarterback, that is what make him special on defense. His ability to read routes, his ability to just read the quarterback. This guy has an incredibly high IQ for the game of football. That's why he's able to play both sides of the ball. He's incredibly smart. He's a great athlete, right? I don't think he can be a shutdown corner in the NFL and also a great receiver. So I would say that he'll probably be more so a receiver, sprinkled in defensively, probably playing more of more of like an inside role, a playmaker on defense, okay? But I think when you're talking about what was the perfect pick for Jacksonville, it was getting a player that addresses their 2 biggest needs on both sides of the ball, a receiver and a corner, Travis Hunter. And he also gets to go back to Florida, so that's pretty cool too. Now, I will say, the trade is atrocious. That is a lot of draft capital to give up for one player. And I know that the one player plays 2 positions, but that's a shit ton of capital to give up. You have to give up a future first-round pick that could be a top 20 selection in the draft, very likely, unless you think Jacksonville's going to make the playoffs, right? They're giving up their 2nd-round pick, okay? So there's no chance of them upgrading another area of their team on early Friday, right? The Browns fleeced, as Strawberry says in the chat. The Browns fleeced. They set themselves up for the future exquisitely. Now they have the opportunity to go out there and get a quarterback on day 2 potentially, right? They're going to have multiple 2nd-round picks. They also, have that 5th pick. At the 5th pick, they can do whatever they want. Will they pick a quarterback at 5? Will they pick an offensive lineman? Will they pick a wide receiver? Will they pick... they could do anything. Really, they could do anything. So the Giants pick is in right now, but this deserves the attention. 1,481 total snaps by a player since 2018. That was his snap count in 2024. 1,400 snaps. That's insane. So, Travis Hunter to Jacksonville, but it was not without paying the price, which was a steep price. So when it comes to grading that pick, it's going to be interesting to see what people think. I'm kind of thinking, I love what they did, but at the same time, I think that's way too much to give up for any player that's not a quarterback. I would I would be very hesitant to do that. So that's going to come into play when discussing the grade. Guys, if you haven't already, Gronk, spike the like button. We're getting the Giants pick. It's in right now. We're going to discuss that right up next. Guys, liking the video helps the video. It helps the channel. It helps more people find this live stream. So make sure that you do. I'm not just saying it because it's fun. I know Gronk spike the like button sounds fun, okay? All right, number 3. The New York Giants select edge out of Penn State, Abdul Carter. This is the right pick. This is an A. This is an A+. This guy has Micah Parsons traits. This guy has Von Miller traits. He's got incredible bend, explosiveness, ferociousness, and no regard for his body whatsoever. He's reckless. He'll take on contact. He'll fly around. He'll dive. He'll make any play possible. Now, some people have concerns about his strength and power, but I think it's because he's only played 1 year at edge rusher. He played multiple years at linebacker at Penn State, a very similar trajectory as Micah Parsons. He even looks like Micah Parsons. I mean, they actually look like they're brothers, okay? So, yeah, this guy is a freak show. He's going to put up 10+ sacks a year. He's going to make the plays for this Giants defense. And when I think of the Giants, what do I think of? I think of pass rush. I think of Michael Strahan, Justin Tuck, OCU Minora terrorizing my Patriots. I think of LT, Lawrence Taylor, right? When they win, it's because of their front. It's because of their pass rush, right? So the Giants are going back to basics with this one, and they're picking arguably the best player in the draft. Him or Travis Hunter were the best players in the draft. This guy is going to be one of the 5 best edge rushers in the NFL, and I think he could even play linebacker. So that's the funny thing, and that's the fun thing about Abdul Carter, is even if they keep Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns, all the rest of them, he can line up at linebacker and blitz from there and make plays at linebacker in year 1. Then they can move off of Kayvon Thibodeau, and he can play edge rusher, right? So, yeah, quickness, speed, bend, athleticism, off the charts, great, talented player, by far the best defender in the class. I think this was well worth the selection, even though it wasn't the biggest need the Giants had on their roster. Okay, the Patriots are currently on the clock here. 5 minutes remaining in the pick. We'll see what the Patriots decide to do here. Obviously, the first couple picks have gone in order in terms of Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, but at number 2, we had a shakeup with a trade, right? So, the Patriots pick is in. The Patriots pick is in. The Patriots pick is in! Will we get an all-time legend, or will we select a bust? Gronk, spike the like button. It's time for our Patriot reaction. We've gone through the Christian Gonzalez's, the Drake Mays, the Cole Stranges. We've reacted to everything on this channel, guys. It's time to react to the next Patriot. Who will it be? Will it be a guy like Will Campbell to protect Drake May? Will it be a wide receiver to catch the football from Drake May? Will it be a surprise off-the-board selection? We will find out after the commercial break, apparently. We will find out after the commercial break, you bastards. I am not looking at my phone. I'm not looking at my phone. I'm waiting for the pick. Pats Forever says it's Campbell time. Caesar says Cole Strange. Don't Dislike says Genty to the Pats. What's up, MC Free World? How you doing, man? Thank you guys for joining me live. It's going to be a fun time all first round long. The New England Patriots, otherwise known as the greatest franchise ever to grace a football field, are on the clock. Their pick is in. At number 5, we've got the Cleveland Browns after trading back. We'll see what Cleveland decides to do with the number 5 pick. That is going to be really fascinating. I have no idea what they're going to do with that pick after they passed on Travis Hunter. So, yeah, I don't know. Does anyone know what Cleveland is going to do? Does anyone know? Jeez. I mean, if I had to guess right now, so I think Will Campbell's going 4. I think that's pretty much a lock. All right. Now, number 5, Genty? That would make sense. They do need a running back. Mason Graham, I don't think so. Would they pick like Membu? Maybe. Kelvin Banks, maybe. They could use a left tackle, so maybe they would pick that. Genty is a good look, though. Genty makes sense. Maybe T-Mac. T-Mac is possible as well. They do need a wide receiver. So I'd probably limit it to those positions. I'd probably say Genty would be first because he's the best player. And then a tackle of some sort. And then wide receiver. Dude, I don't think they really need a defensive tackle. I mean, I guess they could pick one, but would they trade back again? Is that another possibility? Yeah, Genty would make sense for the Browns for sure. Big Al thinks the Patriots will go offensive tackle. Yeah, I think everyone thinks they're going to pick Will Campbell. Which I don't know how I feel about. You know, like, I understand it. I'm not, like, super excited about it. I will say that. I understand it. I'm not super excited about it, though. You know? The arm length concerns me a bit. But I like his attitude. Who do I want the Patriots to pick or the Browns? The pick that would make me most excited would be T-Mac. That would be the most exciting pick. But I would be okay with a tackle. I think we do need a tackle really bad. I'm not so sure that I wouldn't pick Membu over Campbell, though. I think I might slightly lean Membu over Campbell because I just think he's more of a pure tackle, and I'm a little concerned about Campbell maybe having to kick inside, but the Patriots could use a guard as well. We need a weapon, bro. But we could pick that in the second round too, so I think everyone thinks this is going to be Will Campbell. They're taking a long time with this one. Tori says, "What's up, everyone? How's it going? Back from the firehouse." Hey, Tori, thank you so much for the $10 super chat, man. I forgot that those existed. Shout out to Tori. Tori's a legend on the channel, man. Hey, Harley Quinn, you're still alive. Nice to see ya. How you doing? All right, here comes Roger. The pick is in. With the 4th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, my New England Patriots select tackle Will Campbell out of LSU. Will Campbell is the pick. Okay. I like Will Campbell. I don't love Will Campbell. Because like I said, I'm concerned. Look at those arms. They're short. I think I might have longer arms than bro. Okay? I don't know about that. But I like his attitude. I think his tape is good. I think that he moves really well. His feet are really good. When you look at his RAS score, his relative athletic score, he's one of the most agile tackles to come out. Okay, he's in the same lane as a guy like Tristan Wirfs, okay? So that's very promising. I think he'll be great in the running game. I think he has a very high floor because he could kick inside if it doesn't work out outside at tackle. But I would be lying if I didn't say that I'm a little concerned about bro having small arms. I love his attitude, though. This guy speaks his mind. He's honest. I think he's going to be a Mike Vrabel player. He's going to play with nastiness, feistiness. He's going to rip your head off. And the Patriots are going back to the playoffs because now Drake May has another second. Another second to throw. Gary says Campbell equals not exciting, but the right pick. Hey, Mitch, can you give us your prediction for the record of the Patriots? Right now? It's a tough schedule. So I'm going to go 16-1. The pick is in for the Browns, says Strawberry. So when you look at the Patriots now, Will Campbell's a pick. He slides in at left tackle. Okay. We brought in Stephon Diggs as our wide receiver uno, and he will be our wide receiver uno for this season. I don't think a second round pick receiver is going to be the wide receiver one. Okay. Cole Strange is there to potentially play guard. You've got Robinson as well competing for that spot. Bradbury is the center after signing from the Vikings. Right tackle Morgan Moses. Right guard Mike Onwenu, right? So they also have guys like Caden Wallace long term. I would say the offensive line now is much better than last year. The wide receiver core is better than last year. Bringing in Stephon Diggs. There's still a chance we could bring in a guy in the second round. Adding Josh McDaniels is going to make the offensive line and the receiving core better. Right? Both of those spots better. That's going to make Drake May better. Drake May year 2 elevating the guys around him. That's going to make everybody better. Right? Thanks for joining, Becca. Appreciate it. See you later. Hatter's House says, what's up, Mitch? Go Lions. Solid pick for your Pats. Thank you, man. Very solid is the right word. It's the right way to phrase it. It's a solid pick. It makes all the sense in the world. We just hope that those arm length concerns don't show up, okay? But he was, for many, the best tackle in this class. I think he has a chance to be the best tackle in this class. Okay? A comp for Patriots fans might be Matt Light. Throw out that Matt Light comp. Okay? Matt Light won a few Super Bowls. Patriots are way better than people think. The Patriots are low-key loaded. Their defense is sick. Their offense is upgraded. 989 pass blocks, only 2 sacks allowed in the last 2 seasons. He protected for Jaden Daniels. I'll try, Harley. I'll try. Can you get me some tickets? Thanks, Big Al. Appreciate that, man. Thanks, Becca. Would I like the Patriots to trade back in the first for somebody like Luther Burden? I don't think they'll have to. Okay? But I would be very excited if they did. But there are a couple wide receivers in the second round that I like Knoll and Williams. Those are guys that I like. Even Higgins. Like, there's some guys that are going in that second round that I would be up for. Tori with another super chat. So far, Tori's outpacing the bunch. 2 super chats to 0. He says, don't forget to Gronk spike the like button. Damn right. All right, the Browns are up, guys. No more Patriots. You guys can continue to... Oh, they did pick Mason Graham at number 5. The Cleveland Browns. Wow. And I got Jacksonville up there. Wow, okay. Strawberry was right on her first guess. I don't know. I don't agree with this pick. I'm going to be honest. I don't agree with this pick personally. I like Mason Graham. Don't get me wrong. I just feel like Cleveland could have been better off with a different player. I don't know if I agree. I love their trade back, right? But if you look at, so yes, their D tackle position, Shelby Harris and Malik Collins are older. They're solid. They're older. Mike Hall, they picked in the second round last year. We'll see how he develops, right? I'm not sure. Like, DeJuan Jones at left tackle is a bit spotty. I feel like maybe they like him more than he's shown. Jack Conklin is old and injured all the time. I would have preferred a tackle. I think I would have preferred Membu, honestly. I would have also preferred Genty. I know that running back does, at number 5 is crazy, but Jerome Ford is not a starting running back in the league. I would have preferred Genty. I think Mason Graham's a good player. I think he'll be very solid. I just don't know. I don't think he'll be amazing or anything like that. I don't think he's going to be truly special. I think that he's a quick penetrating 3-tech, good power to his game, relentless, knows how to use his hands. I felt like he was a little underwhelming as a pass rusher. I thought he was a better run defender. He's been kind of projected to go number 5 all along to Jacksonville. And then, of course, Jacksonville, when that made that move up. I don't know, man. I just kind of question whether or not they should have picked a tackle to replace Conklin long-term, or if they should have picked Genty. That's just kind of what I'm questioning, and that's just my opinion. Right? But he was actually... Now, they're showing stats now, like on the field, way better, obviously, at Michigan. He also, just like Will Campbell, has the arm length concerns. For a defensive tackle, he doesn't have those analytics that an analytically sound, place like Cleveland you would think would pick this type of player. That's kind of interesting to me. But he's going to be a good player. Like, I think he's got a high floor for sure. High floor player. Helps their defense, helps the strength of their team get even stronger, which is the defensive line. Again, I just wonder if they should have gone with Genty or a tackle. That's just my opinion. Travis says, is there a chance the 49ers trade down? I think there's a chance. Yeah. Nerd says, hope the 49ers can get Genty. They're not going to pick Genty. I think they're going to go D-line, possibly O-line. Honestly, I think if Genty is still there at 11, they'll probably trade out of that pick. CMC is all the way back from injury. I read that yesterday, actually. The Raiders are up. They have the 6th pick in the draft. Mason Graham to the Browns was literally never a pick, never a mock. It was never a prediction from anyone ever. I don't think I saw a single Mason Graham to the Browns. Not one. With the 6th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Ashton Genty, running back out of Boise State. They were playing us the whole time, huh? They were playing us the whole damn time. The Raiders. Can't say I dislike this pick. I think I would have thought about Membu big time at this selection, and I wouldn't have blamed them. I probably would have preferred that pick from a team building construction standpoint, but depending on what they think of DJ Glaze at right tackle, this was the right pick. Now, you could also argue T-Mac at this spot. A wide receiver would have been nice for them. But, man, Genty is a special running back. He's a human pinball. He's got great make you miss ability, great balance. The best balance I've ever seen. He just somehow doesn't get tackled. Like Ashton Genty said in his letter to the NFL, take the guy in tackle football that doesn't get tackled. I think that's a good idea. He hit a ton of home run touchdowns. He's going to be able to set you up in consistent short yardage. He's going to be able to finish games for you. He's going to be able to create explosives. He's going to be able to catch the football. He's going to be able to do it all. I think he does need to improve a little bit in terms of route running, a little bit in terms of pass blocking, things like that. But he was asked to carry the Boise State Broncos. He was asked to carry the load and carry the team. And like I said many times with the Raiders, they need a superstar to sell tickets in Vegas. They need a reason for people to show up and watch their games. Ashton Genty is that reason. I like this pick. This is a good pick. I always question a running back at number 6, but I think this is a good pick. I think this is a good pick because this guy is a sick player. Sick. He was 27 yards shy of Barry Sanders for most rushing yards in a season in FBS history. That is incredible. Guys, if you haven't already, Gronk spike the like button. It helps the channel. It helps more people find this live stream. It would be really appreciated if you like the video. And if you're not a jabroni, subscribe. Okay, the Jets pick is in. The Jets pick is in. You know what? Let's talk about the Raiders a little bit more, shall we? They're still talking about this stuff. So the O-line, Colton Miller, they got to figure that out. They brought in Geno Smith. They have Brock Bowers, Jacoby Myers. I think they need a wide receiver in this draft to help him out. But now you've got a superstar running back to build your offense around, to lean run heavy, lean play action. Chip Kelly's going to do some special things with Ashton Genty. Defensively, they've got a defensive line. I feel like they could use some linebackers. I feel like they could use big-time corners. Corner has got to be a pick early in this draft for the Raiders. They are desperate for corner play right now. Their corners stink. They need some corners. So the Raiders are still a few pieces away from being competitive, in my opinion, especially at corner and wide receiver. But I think Genty helps them build an identity from scratch with this new regime, which is what you're looking for. So now we can get to the Jets. Singh wants another trade. He's impatient. We're almost at 40 likes, guys. We're almost at 40 likes. Also, if you want to show your love for the channel, super chats are appreciated. We got Tori in with 2 already. Tori, the man, the myth, the legend. Okay. So now, at pick 7 for the Jets, this should be Tyler Warren or Membu. I don't think it's anyone else. It's Warren or it's Membu. It's one or the other. Warren or Membu. Guys, let me know in the chat. Warren or Membu? Warren or Membu? Singh says, your Pats better get a receiver in the second round. I hope so. Then at number 8, we've got the Panthers. They're going to go edge rusher. 100%. It just depends on who they want. Will it be Walker or Williams? Then at number 10, is the Bears, who stayed put. I don't know. If Warren doesn't go 7, I wonder who the Bears would pick at 10. Would they pick an edge rusher or would they pick a tackle? Caesar's going with Membu. Hatter's House says Membu is what I'm hearing. The Nerd says Membu. The name just sounds badass. Fair enough. Just go with the badass name. Jets pick is in. Team needs right tackle, wide receiver, tight end, and edge. I would put D tackle over edge, but Tori says, I wouldn't be mad at it. Wouldn't be mad at what? Imagine if the Jets picked a quarterback. That would be insane. All right. With the 7th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Armand Membu, offensive tackle out of Missouri. I can't blame him for this pick whatsoever. I think Membu could be the best tackle in this class. I think he has a chance to be better than Will Campbell. He's more of a prototypical tackle with the power, the size, the length, right? I think he has the measurables as well. 4.9 40-yard dash is the second fastest by any offensive lineman. He has great mobility, great agility for a guy of his size. I think he could eventually move to the left if they need him to do that, but he'll stick at right tackle in New York perfectly, and they're going to have one of the best young tackle duos in football in New York to build around their future quarterback, because it's not going to be Justin Fields. That experience is not going to go very well. After that experience, they're going to get a quarterback, and they're going to have 2 stud tackles to protect that quarterback. That is a way to build a football team. That is the way to build a football team. Get some big boys. And Membu, to me, I think, there's some things to clean up in the run game, in my opinion, but he's a massive individual that should be good in that regard. I think, like I said, I just think he is the prototypical tackle. He is the prototype. 332 pounds, nearly 6'5", nasty, bullies ya, right? Cleaning people up, pancaking dudes. I think I would lean he's a better pass blocker than a run blocker, just slightly. I think his anchor is really good. That ability to sit and just not get overpowered, right? That was a subtle concern for Will Campbell, in my opinion. Membu's going to drive through people's faces. This is what they're showing on the broadcast right now. So, yeah, I like this pick quite a bit for the Jets. I think it could have been Tyler Warren. I would have been happy with that too, but I think this is the more sensible selection for the long term of building your football team. Carolina Panthers pick is in. Guys, we're 1 like away from 40. Don't forget to Gronk spike the like button. The 8th pick in the draft, Carolina is up. Silver Stud asks, who do I think the Broncos will pick? I'm going with a running back. I don't know who it's going to be yet. Could be Henderson. Could be Hampton. I'm going to lean running back, but wide receiver is also very possible if McMillan falls. I think the Jets in the second round should go with a tight end or a wide receiver. Panthers need a new owner. I don't think you can draft that in the draft, though. Russell says, who you got for the Patriots as a second-round pick? I would like Williams out of, I think, Washington State. I'd like Williams. Funky Lions fan says, you mean the Jets take a Lions coordinator and he says the first pick is going to be a stud right tackle? Weird, huh? Not weird at all. Actually, quite logical. Quite sound. A big, nasty right tackle? Yeah, that sounds about right. Sounds about right, sir. Who should the Niners go with? I think they should consider offensive tackle because Trent Williams. Yeah, offensive tackle should be a consideration. I would go, if it were me, I would probably go with Mike Green. I don't think that's going to be their pick, but I love Mike Green. I think he's a stud. That would probably be my pick. He's an edge rusher. But I would be fine with any of the edge rushers for them. I would also be fine with a defensive tackle or an offensive lineman. I think any of those positions would make sense. Anything else wouldn't make sense. Anything else wouldn't make sense to me. I think that, whoever they like at D-tackle, whether it be Harmon, Nolan, or Grant, I think you could buy yourself into any of those three. I think also the edge rusher, like Shamar Stewart, has incredible upside. He's very raw. Michael Williams is expected to be a top 12 pick. So if he doesn't go to the Saints, he might be there for the Niners. And then you've got Green. I don't think Pierce is going to go that high in this draft just because of the off-the-field concerns. And then tackle, I think they could pick Banks. If Banks is there, I could see them picking Banks. Nolan and Grant are two of my nephew names. That's funny. Maybe that's where they're going to go then. Maybe that's where they'll go. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. It's been fun so far. This draft's been pretty crazy so far. Not what we expected. That Travis Hunter trade threw a wrench into our plans, guys. But it's been fun. So make sure to Gronk spike the like button. Stick with us. We've got the Carolina Panthers here. Pick is in. This broadcast, of course, like always, is taking forever to announce the picks. I'm trying to stay true to the... I'm trying to stay true to watching the picks from the broadcast and not through my phone, okay? So that I give you a genuine reaction. Carolina here. With the 8th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers select Tetairoa McMillan, wide receiver out of Arizona. I did not see that coming, but it makes a lot of sense. And I love McMillan. I think he is the best receiver in this class. When you consider Travis Hunter a corner/receiver, I think that McMillan is a prototypical outside X receiver. He's tall. He's smooth. I think he's quicker than fast. His horizontal quickness is better than his vertical speed. He's got great hands, and he's got an incredible range to catch the football, right? This guy comps to Drake London, T. Higgins, Mike Evans at the high end. That's the type of receiver that he is. That's the type of archetype you're talking about. And when you're talking about, okay, the Carolina Panthers, who's their head coach? Dave Canales. Where did he work previously? Tampa Bay. He had Mike Evans, right? Bryce Young, year 3. This is a big year for Bryce Young. He needs to be good. Like, he needs to show his stuff. And without a prototypical number 1 wide receiver, he probably wasn't going to be able to do that. So McMillan gives you that downfield ability. I think you're going to be able to line him up in bunches, in stacks, and allow him to separate due to his horizontal quickness, right? Like I said, I don't expect him to fly by people down the field very often. He's not that fast, but he can make catches with people around him. He's got great body control, great awareness of the football, like great hands. So he's got a volleyball background. You can see the way that he reacts to the football as well with the ball in the air. He's going to be a great red zone weapon for Bryce Young to trust. And this is going to complement the rest of their receiver room. Leggett, who's like he's got speed, he's got size, he's got good yak ability. Leggett can be used in a more proper fashion, right? You've got Adam Thielen for the short term in the slot. You've got a Jalen Coker who can move around the formation and do a lot of different things. But now you have a guy that can line up at X, line up outside against press coverage, and can win, right? He can win with his suddenness, and he can win with his size and his hands, right? Like I said, not an incredible speed, but suddenness, hands, and you can move him around too. I mean, he can play in the slot. He did that in college. So just the way he snatches the ball, it's very natural. It's very clean. You know, I like the way that he runs. He runs just very smooth. Even though he's not super fast, I think he's very smooth for a guy that's that big, you know? And he can go up and he can get it. So Bryce Young can put it in a spot, and this guy can go up and get the football. So Carolina, I like this pick a lot. I thought they would go defense because they definitely need defense. They definitely need edge rusher. There's no doubt about it, right? They need pass rush. Their defense was historically terrible. But if you're talking about completing the offense, right? What did Carolina need? They have an offensive line. They have 2 running backs in Hubbard and Dowdle, right? Maybe they could use another tight end, but you add a receiver and all of a sudden your offense is now looking pretty complete. And for the rest of the draft, you can add defense. That sounds good to me if I'm building a team. So I really like it. The Saints pick is in. The Panthers might put up a fight with the binoculars, says Caesar. Caesar's back. Caesar, how's the timestamps going, bro? Make sure you put those, make sure you have that listed to yourself. Don't just put it in the chat, because then you're going to have to search for it. Singh says, I think it will be Sanders for the Saints. My guess for the Saints is going to be rather tackle like Kelvin Banks or defensive line Michael Williams. That's going to be my guess. I don't think they're going to pick a quarterback. That's going to be my prediction. Not a quarterback, a offensive or defensive lineman build from the trenches. To me, the Saints are not ready for a young quarterback yet. And who knows? Maybe the maybe the Derek Carr stuff is not 100% true. Who knows? Kat says he has them taking Shamar Stewart, but Michael is definitely my second thought. Shamar Stewart would make sense too. I wouldn't. With the 9th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Kelvin Banks Jr., offensive tackle out of Texas, the Longhorn. Now, Kelvin Banks rising up boards recently, getting a lot of steam. He was actually my predicted pick for the Saints as of recent, which is crazy because nothing in this draft has gone as predicted so far. Banks is an awesome pick. I think that he can solve a lot of issues for the Saints. When you really break it down, he can play left tackle for them. They can slide Fuaga to right tackle, his natural position in college, and they can move Trevor Penning to left guard. So that solves 3 issues for the Saints potentially. Banks also has inside-outside versatility. He played tackle at Texas for over 60 games. He was one of the best pass blockers in college, facing the most pass blocks than anybody in college football because Texas threw the ball a lot. So he had to defend top pass rushers in college more than any other tackle in the class. He's got great movement, great feet, the ability to pull and get in space. He's going to be very effective for Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore saw what a great offensive line could do for the Eagles, winning a Super Bowl as the offensive coordinator of Philadelphia. So he's choosing to build up front with the offensive line. I like the pick. It gives them 2 bookend tackles for the future, Fuaga and Banks. I think it's an awesome pick. I think this is a borderline A type of pick. Because I think Banks could be a very good player, and I think he has a high floor because, like I said, I think he could be an excellent tackle if it doesn't work, or excellent guard if it doesn't work out at tackle, right? 1,461 pass blocks and only 3 sacks allowed in his entire career at Texas. That's pretty impressive stuff right there. So Chicago's pick is in. I like the pick for the Saints. I prefer this over a defensive end because I felt like with Chase Young re-signing, Carl Granderson, Cameron Jordan, they have enough short term. They could get maybe a upside pass rusher in the 2nd or the 3rd round or something like that. And I'm glad they didn't go quarterback and they didn't force the pick of a quarterback at number 9. Let me know what you guys think of the Saints pick in the chat. The Bears are up. Turtle's also probably happy about this one because it's a Texas guy. Why is Sanders sliding? He's just not that. He's not all that, man. He's not all that. He wasn't expected to go that high, though, as of recently. Maybe like a month ago and stuff like that, but he might go in the 20s. I talked about it, Daniel. I like it. I'm not like over the moon about it. I'm not like super elated. I like it. It's a solid pick. I'm a little concerned about his arm length, but I like his attitude. I like overall his inside-outside ability. I think he's going to be a Mike Vrabel Patriot. He's going to bring that nastiness to our team that we need, and we definitely need the left tackle. So I don't necessarily disagree with the selection. I just am not like super elated, super excited because like I don't think it's going to be like an absolute home run. I could be wrong. I think he's going to be a good player though. The Bears pick is in. We're still waiting for the pick unless you want me to look at Twitter. I think the Niners pick is already in as well. Singh says the Bears will get Hampton. Okay. The Bears. That guy is dressed as a bear. That is devotion. I'm watching ESPN. It's on TSN in Canada. It's just the ESPN broadcast. Guys, we're 5 likes away from 50. Gronk, spike the like button if you're enjoying the stream so far. We're 10 picks through. With the 10th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select. And this guy's talking about Steve McMichael. Rest in peace. I got a little too quick there. I went a little too fast. Three super chats today. Tori with all three of them, baby. Tori's carrying the squad in the chat. Somebody else step up. I don't think they're going to be picking Barron Singh. I doubt it. Cowboys at 12 will be interesting. Still waiting. They're still doing the McMichael thing, guys. Bears. So my prediction... Oh, man. Defensive end, Shamar Stewart. Colston Loveland. Wow. Wow. The Bears went Colston Loveland over Tyler Warren. That's shocking. That is shocking to me. But wow, I can't say that I necessarily disagree. Loveland is a stud. He's a stud. Most all-time catches by a Michigan tight end. He's got a lot of good stuff. I mean, vertical player at tight end, good speed, really good savvy route runner. He can block well in line. He's going to be everything that Ben Johnson wants. He looks like a wide receiver. Like, you look at him, he looks like a wide receiver. But he's nasty. He can block too. He was the most important receiver for their national championship team a couple years ago, right? I don't think he's as good after the catch as Warren is, but I think he's better at running routes than Warren. You see that little stop move, right? I think on crossers, vertical routes, right? He's going to be a guy that's going to be able to make a lot of plays for this offense. He has enough speed and space to make some plays. I am surprised that he went ahead of Warren, though. And I'm disappointed that I didn't bet it. But tight end, okay, now you can have Cole Kmet and Loveland together. You can do a lot of different things with two tight end formations. That's going to make them a better running football team. That's going to make them more difficult to defend offensively. That's going to help Caleb Williams in a plethora of ways, right? They could have went with defensive end. They could have went with running back. They decided to go with the tight end. A stud. I think both the tight ends belong in the top 15 in this draft. And I'm just surprised that Loveland went first. But I knew there were some people that really liked Loveland. Now, in terms of, and I will say that one is interesting. I like the pick. I don't love it because, like, there is that debate there. That's going to be one. I don't know what I'm going to grade it yet, but we'll get to that when we get there. In terms of the 49ers, I think they're going to pick a defensive lineman all the way. If I had to guess, it would be between, like, I personally would pick Mike Green. That would be my pick. But I personally think they're going to pick Williams or Stewart. That's going to be my guess. I think they could get a defensive tackle in the second round, so I think they're going to go with the defensive end. That's going to be my thought. The offensive lineman, I don't think there's one here that they would pick. I think they might have thought about Kelvin Banks, but he's already gone. Becca likes Williams or Johnson. Yeah, I think it could be Williams. He makes a lot of sense. I think it could be Stewart. Like I said, I would throw Green in there, but I don't think that's their type. Walter Nolan has been mocked to them quite a bit, so maybe Walter Nolan. I prefer Grant and Harmon over Nolan, so I'd be a little disappointed as a Niners fan if they went Nolan, just because I'm not a huge fan of him. But that's just, that's just my opinion. Again, I'm trying to evaluate the picks for what they're worth because teams have their own opinions on the players. I'm trying to evaluate the need, evaluate how they fit, things like that. We'll see who the Niners pick. Singh doesn't like Grant. I like Grant. I think he's a beast. Becca would be upsetty spaghetti. Where are you, Becca? Are you with friends right now? Draft party? I think if the Niners get a defensive end here, Niners fans should be pumped. That's exactly what they need. That's exactly the way they should be building their team. It's just a matter of how does that player develop, right? I'm sure they have already made their pick, but the broadcast has not shown us their pick yet. Don't spoil it in the chat. Jose, what's up, man? Oh, you're at home with friends. Awesome. Got your Niners hat on. Okay. What's up, Samuel? How you doing, man? We're on commercial break. Are the Cowboys going to go with a wide receiver or a running back, or what do we think? Do I think there should be a team in Canada? Yes. So I can go to the games. I would, honestly, though, I think there should be a team in Toronto. If I like, not even lying. I'm not even from Toronto. I'm from Vancouver. There should be a team in Toronto. It doesn't make sense that there's not a team in Toronto. I'm just gonna say that. Why don't you want Golden to the Cowboys, Sing? What do you care? JP says the craziest start to the draft I've ever seen. That was pretty wild. And the crazy thing is, the Browns have probably had the best start to the draft just based on the trade they pulled off. But then I felt like they had the worst pick. I felt like them picking Mason Graham was just kind of underwhelming. I don't know what it was about it. It was just kind of underwhelming. I felt like if they would have got like, I don't know, I would have preferred like Membu or I would have preferred like Genty there. But they went with Graham. So it is what it is. 67 people in the chat. Shout out to you guys. Gronk, spike the like button if you haven't already. Appreciate everybody tuning in, man. We're going to have a lot more fun for the rest of the draft. We're at pick 11. 49ers pick is in. It's been announced on Twitter, but I'm waiting for the broadcast. They just take forever. Okay, so when it comes to the Niners, their defensive line is in dire straits. They need an edge rusher. They need a defensive tackle. I wouldn't be surprised if they use their first 2 or 3 picks on the defensive line. They need a defensive tackle. They need a defensive end. If they can build a young, fresh, new defensive line in this draft, they can get themselves back to the playoffs very easily. Some USA chants in Green Bay. I like that they're moving. I miss New York, man. I miss that setting for the draft, but I do like that they're going to different places. All right. 50 likes. Thank you, guys. With the 11th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Michael Williams, defensive end out of Georgia. I like the pick. It's not my preferred edge rusher. I prefer Mike Green, personally, because I think he's got more to offer as a pass rusher. But Michael Williams has a lot of upside. He played injured last year at Georgia and was still a beast of a run defender. He's instantly going to be able to play on all 3 downs for the 49ers because he's got excellent power and length. He can set up tackles and just manhandled them because he's got long arms. He's also very good at getting in the way of the passing lane and knocking down passes. He's very good at that. 6'5", 260. Like I said, played injured last year. He also played in a weird placement on the defensive front that he will not be asked to play in San Francisco, right? He played a lot of times inside, which is not ideal for rushing the quarterback. So production is not going to be something that jumps off the screen for him, right? But he's got that inside-outside versatility, kind of like a Eric Armstead in a way, right? Kind of like that Michael Bennett that this type of scheme has always coveted. He's got that ability because of his length and his power to play on the edge or on the inside to be able to disrupt the game either way, right? And I think you give him to a really good defensive line coach like the Niners have, and he's going to be able to potentially really develop into something special. The 9th most tackles for loss in Georgia history, Mykel Williams. He also, the other thing with him is he kind of compares to another guy that came out of Georgia that went first overall, athletically speaking, Trayvon Walker. Went first overall to Jacksonville, wasn't super productive, played in a similar role at Georgia. It was kind of hard to predict and hard to project what he would become in the NFL. And Mykel compares him very, very neatly, very nicely. And at number 11, if you can get that type of player, that's a pretty good pick. So, yeah, do I prefer maybe one or two other guys as pass rushers over Mykel? Sure. But he was very highly on NFL boards, seen as a top 10-ish selection. A lot of people thought he would go number 9. So I think that's a good pick for the 49ers. At number 12, the Dallas Cowboys select Tyler Booker, guard out of Alabama. Didn't see that one coming. I can't say I hate it, though. The Cowboys, they've always been known for their offensive line play. And a lot of people thought they would go wide receiver, running back. I can't blame them for going guard here. I kind of thought that they were good with their guard position. They were confident about their guard position. There's so many surprises right now, man. Right? But Brock Hoffman currently starts at right guard for the Cowboys. Brock Hoffman is not a starting guard in the NFL. I mean, maybe you could buy yourself into developing him or whatever, but instantly they get more powerful, they get nastier, more physical up front. And like I said, they lost Zach Martin. It makes a lot of sense. He's going to plug and play at right guard. This is a Nick Saban guy, obviously, Alabama boy. He was probably the best pure guard in the class, and he was selected as such. I think he's better at run blocking than pass blocking. But for Dak Prescott, you need to have that anchor in the middle of your offensive line, right? Dak's a pocket passer. You got to have that guy to just be able to, set the pocket and allow him to step up and feel like he's comfortable and make those throws downfield. Maybe they think they can get a wide receiver in round 2. I certainly think they could use one. A running back later, round 3 or 4, is certainly plausible. This is a deep class of running backs. They can still find a starter deep in the draft. So I don't hate it at all. If they really like this guy, which he was expected to be a top 20 pick. So there's no problem with this pick. It's definitely a need. It just wasn't really where everyone thought they would go, right? A lot of people thought they would go wide receiver here. But you got Tyler Smith now and Tyler Guyton, 2 first-round picks on the left side. Cooper Beebe, 3rd-round pick last year at center. Now you can throw Tyler Booker at right guard, and you've got Terrence Steele at right tackle. So I think your offensive line becomes a lot better. This is in a division with Philadelphia, who just won the Super Bowl based on their offensive line performance, right? So I don't think that that's a bad pick whatsoever. I think that's a very solid pick by the Cowboys. Can't really go wrong with that pick. Guys, Gronk, spike the like button if you haven't already. The Miami Dolphins are on the clock. Thank you guys for the support, and thank you for tuning in so far. Five minutes left for the Dolphins to make a selection. Hopefully they run out of time and get passed over by the Colts. Miami Dolphins. They're probably trying to trade this pick. They're probably trying to trade this pick right now. Miami, I mean, a lot of people think they're going to pick Barron at cornerback. I think Will Johnson is possible. I think an offensive lineman is possible here. Maybe like Simmons or Zabel. Defensive line, Walter Nolan is possible. Derek Harmon is possible. Kenneth Grant is possible. I mean, the Dolphins have a ton of needs, if you guys have not noticed. They have a ton of needs. Their roster is not the same. They have needs at defensive line, offensive line, secondary. So this could be a pick. This could be anywhere on the board for them. They have a lot of holes. So we'll see what they do. I would prefer them to trade back. Like, if I was the GM, I would try to trade back. I just don't know if anyone is willing to come up. The only thing, yeah, that I was just going to say that, Kat. If a team does trade up, it's going to be for Tyler Warren. 100%. Who do I think the Seahawks are taking? I think the Seahawks will take an offensive lineman. I would lean towards Gray Zabel as of right now, but the name we'll see when they come up on the board. So stick around. Nelson says, no way Shedeurs falls to the second. I think he will. He might get picked by the Steelers, but I don't think there's anyone else that could pick him unless somebody trades into the first round. Tori says, apparently someone has huge news. Who is that? Drew says, just joined in. How are you feeling about the Patriots pick? Thanks for joining, Drew. I'm good with it. Solid. Good pick. We needed a left tackle. I think he has the demeanor, the toughness, the grit that Mike Vrabel wants. I'm a little concerned about his arm length, but I do think he's got really good movement, which is going to make him a really good player in the run game. And as long as that arm length doesn't come to be something that's really concerning, I think he'll be a very good left tackle. If not, he'll be a very good left guard. And we'll have a very good offensive lineman that can protect Drake May for years to come. So I don't mind the pick whatsoever. I think it's very solid. I wouldn't give it an A+, right? I think it's a solid pick. I don't think it's like a special pick. Nelson says, do you think? Do I think what? Dom says Tyler Warren doesn't make it past the Colts. You would think not, right? Dom also says Shedeur is a Steeler. Potentially, but I actually think they could pick Jackson Dart over him. I really do. I will guess, though, that only 2 quarterbacks will go in the first round. At most. At most. Do I think this will be a legendary draft 10 years from now? I would lean no. I would lean towards no. Mr. Fulton says he's going to be at the Colts Hall of Fame. And they're going to take... What? I'm going to be at my Colts Hall of Fan. They are going to be taking my picture and then put my picture on the banner at Lucas Oil Stadium. That's amazing, man. Congratulations. Congratulations. I hope he's that good, Greg. That would be amazing. Does anyone but me think that the Steelers might try to trade up and steal Hampton over the Broncos? I think they're more likely to trade down, and I think Hampton could be there. I think that the Broncos might like Henderson over Hampton based on the reports. So we'll have to wait and see. Okay, Miami's pick is in. I know what the pick is already, guys. I saw it on my phone. I actually like this pick. I think this is bold, not what people expected, but I like this pick quite a bit. With the 13th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle out of Michigan. He was one of my favorite guys. I like Kenneth Grant a lot. I think he is a lot closer to Mason Graham than people think. He's a massive nose tackle that's going to really help the Dolphins against the run and, play complementary football to Zach Sealer inside of their defensive line. And that really makes their defensive line go from good to awesome. And it kind of completes their defensive line unit. Grant is arguably the best run defender in this entire class. He's also one of the best athletes. When you're looking at the freaks list, he was the third biggest freak in this class. When you're talking about size, power, speed, and explosion. He's also twitchier for a guy that is this big and a guy that is like a nose tackle that plays over the ball, right? That's not known for pass rushing. He is a lot quicker than people think. So that's what makes me believe he has a lot of upside, right? Like this guy could have that Dexter Lawrence type of upside because of that twitchiness, but at the least, you could be getting a very good run stuffer, right? So hopefully he can develop as an awesome pass rusher, but if not, you're going to have a very good run defender on your hands that's going to make your entire defensive line better. So Miami continues to build that defensive line, which has been an importance to them over recent years. They've got Chop Robinson, Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, Zach Sealer, very underrated player, and Kenneth Grant. So their defensive line is looking really solid. Okay, don't take it for granted. Don't take it for granted. I like the pick. I would give this a positive grade. The Colts pick is in. We'll have to wait for it. Big Al says he's leaning Dart over Sanders for the Steelers. Ooh. Ooh. We're one like away from 60, guys. Don't forget to like the video. It helps other people find this live stream, and it helps other people find this channel. Thank you for watching. Don't be a jabroni and subscribe. My guess for the Colts is Tyler Warren. And if not Tyler Warren, Gray Zabel. Those are going to be my guesses. Falcons are after that. Cardinals are after that. Big Al says, give the Dolphins credit. They're building the D-line. I think they wanted to trade back, in all honesty. I think they wanted to trade back. What is the worst pick so far? I don't know if it's the worst pick, but the one that got the least response from me was Mason Graham. With the 14th pick, the Indianapolis Colts select Tyler Warren, tight end out of Penn State. Tyler Warren, the comp for him is Riggins on Friday Night Lights. If you know, you know. This guy has the dog in him. The dog in him. That is the best way to describe him. The nation's top tight end, the John Mackey Award winner, a monster after the catch who breaks tackles left and right. This guy can do it all. He can run routes. He can create with the ball in his hands. He can play in the slot. He can play in line. He can play as an H-back. He can throw passes. He's also a red zone weapon, just a great, unique nature to be able to find the football and make plays above the rim against defenders. I don't think he's the greatest route runner in terms of twitchiness and separation, but he's got great hands and he can make plays, everywhere, man. And you get the ball in his hands, and he is just tough to tackle. He's just one of those guys that's tough to bring down in the open field. And like Ashton Genty said, it's tackle football. Pick the guy that you can't tackle. That's Tyler Warren, bro. That's Tyler Warren. Dom called it. He's physical. This guy looks like Jeremy Shockey. I like the pick. The Colts needed a tight end. I'm actually kind of glad that they didn't pick an offensive lineman here for like the millionth time, and they went with a skill position player. You need to be able to help out your quarterback, Anthony Richardson, to be able to get the most out of him if that's ever going to work. If not, if Anthony Richardson doesn't work, you've got a stud on your offense that can do a lot of different things for you for the long term as well. That's going to be a tough physical football player that you can build a mentality through. Right? This is a guy that changes the way that you play because of the way that he plays. So I like that pick for the Colts. I honestly don't dislike a lot of the picks so far. I can't really lie. I don't dislike a lot of the picks. I mean, you probably shouldn't when you're in the top 14 of the draft. Nelson, they just got to get a quarterback, man. Their quarterback position is dire. Green's going to the Bengals. He might be. I think it could be, for the Bengals, I think it could be Nolan, Green, Harmon, Shamar Stewart. It's going to be a defensive lineman for sure. They have so many options at that pick. Falcons are up, and the Falcons could be picking Green here. That would be my choice. If I was the Falcons, I would pick Mike Green. They could also go with Shamar Stewart, and I wouldn't be surprised, but they're going to pick an edge rusher for sure. They're picking an edge rusher, 100%. If they don't pick an edge rusher here, I'll be shocked. I will throw my remote at the TV and break it. If the Falcons do something stupid 2 years in a row, I will break my remote live on the live stream. If they don't pick a guy that can sack the quarterback, this franchise is a bunch of baloney. Bengals could also go linebacker, says Diamond. Shout out Diamond. He's always in the comment section. He's one of the guys. Yes, Jahad Campbell, I wouldn't be shocked by that either. I do think defensive line makes more sense, though. Caesar, you got the timestamps, bro? You staying on course? Diamond thinks Sanders? Sanders to the Bengals? No way. Why? So he can hand Joe Burrow the water? What is he going to do? Hand Joe Burrow Gatorade? Is he going to house sit for Joe Burrow instead of the sexy lesbian? What could Sanders do that the Bengals really need him to do? Oh, Sanders to the Falcons for the meme. That would be really stupid. Nelson, says Hampton. Okay, Caesar. Am I going to come to a Colts game sometime? Maybe, man. Who knows? Probably not anytime soon. I'm not going to lie to you, but eventually. 4 super chats, all from Tori. Tori is carrying you guys on his back. Carrying you guys. Jim says, actually, if the Steelers are smart, they take Jackson Dart. That could happen. Jim, don't rule it out. That could happen. I think Jackson Dart might be ahead of Shador on their board. No Trump talk in my chat. Leave the Trump talk to yourself. I hope Canada has a team. That would be sick. We're talking football here. What pick are we at? We're at 15 with the Atlanta Falcons. So we're about halfway through, guys. And there's only 40 seconds left on the clock for the Falcons. They still have not made a pick. They're going to lose their pick. They're going to get passed. What type of team lets this go all the way down? Okay, they finally made the pick. My goodness. I thought the Falcons were going to Falcon. All right, who are the Falcons going to pick? Watch them pick a jabroni. I can't wait. Well, the Falcons are not picking a quarterback, you would think. The Cardinals aren't picking a quarterback. The Bengals aren't picking a quarterback. Leslie, what's up? The Steelers are the place that might pick a quarterback. Everybody else doesn't want no quarterback. Why would you? Big Al says, Atlanta, you got one job. Do it. Don't F it up. Falcons pick is in. We're waiting. Field Yates is going on a rant right now. Hey, Tori with his 5th super chat. Everybody else is being a jabroni. Tori's my favorite in the chat. The Falcons pick is in. Jalen Walker is still on the board, a Georgia edge rusher. Throwing that out there. With the 15th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select linebacker Jalen Walker out of Georgia. Now, technically, I think he's an edge rusher, but Walker was expected to go maybe number 8 to Carolina, definitely in the top 10 for many people. I personally didn't see it because of his size, right? Undersized edge rusher, 6'1", not the fastest, so you wonder about that, okay? But this is a football player. This is a guy that's a lot stronger than his frame and his size. He's got very good power in that regard. Also, very good off-the-field character and very good leadership skills. I will say when I watched him, I thought he was decent as a pass rusher, but I wouldn't have taken him. And the reason for that is I'm not sure where he's going to be most effective. I'm not sure how you use him to be most effective because I don't know if he's a straight-up edge rusher that can get to the quarterback like pure straight up. I'm not sure if he's an off-ball linebacker. I really don't think he's an off-ball linebacker. The way that he was used in Georgia was as a hybrid player who would play off-ball and on the ball in certain situations. To get to the quarterback, he'd use his quick step, his quickness, right? And just relentlessness overall. He was very good in blitzes, stunts, right? And blitz packages and games. He's also very good at getting off blocks, in my opinion. That was an area that I was impressed for a guy that was kind of an undersized player. He was used as a spy quite frequently at Georgia. They're showing highlights, and I remember watching that Texas game. And against Texas, he was awesome. I will say that. Big-time playmaker, big-time leader. The Falcons get a guy to help their defense. I'm sure Ultra will love that pick. That's an Ultra guy. Personally, I don't know, though. I'm just not sure about how he translates to the NFL. And that's why I wouldn't have taken him. But that's just me. Some people love Jalen Walker. Like I said, some people thought he would be a top 10 pick. I have nothing against the guy. I think he seems like a great guy. I just don't know about how he would project. Now, that being said, in Atlanta, I expect him to play edge rusher for Raheem Morris. And in that scheme, you don't have to be the biggest human being because typically they have 3 interior defensive linemen on the inside as well. So we'll see how he goes. We'll see how he does. I think Raheem Morris has got to have a plan for him, though. Got to be creative with him. I would go with Green Cat if it were me for the Cardinals, but I don't know. They could go offensive line. I wouldn't be surprised by offensive line here. Did I have the Falcons up? Did I bring it down? Nolan or Green better for the Bengals? I like Green more, but I could understand why they would take Nolan. I wouldn't be mad at that. Pick is in for the Cardinals. Cardinals pick is in. That would be amazing, Caesar. We should do that. My guess for the Cardinals is going to be Will Johnson. But I wouldn't be surprised by a front 7 pick either. That is a lot of people at Jahdae Barron's draft party. Holy shit. That is a lot of people. Bengals pick is in also? Okay. Interesting. We're basically halfway through the draft now. Cardinals pick is in. Can we get to 75 likes? We got 61. Cardinals pick is in. The Arizona Cardinals select Walter Nolan, defensive tackle out of Ole Miss. That will limit the options for the Bengals. That might be a blessing in disguise for the Bengals, in my opinion, but interesting pick. I would have went Will Johnson if I were the Cardinals. I think corner was a much bigger need than defensive tackle. Walter Nolan is in a great spot to be able to learn. He's going to be behind Calais Campbell and Dalvin Tomlinson. Walter Nolan is a 3-tech in the purest way. He's quick. He's got good hands, and he's got really good pass rushing upside. I think against the run, he's a little bit of a liability. He ends up on the ground a little bit too much for my liking. But his penetration skill is arguably the best at this position in the class. His ability to just slither in and use his quick step in his first burst to get in the backfield is really impressive. He has a lot of upside. But I also think that he's a guy that's just a little too inconsistent for my liking. So as a younger player, it'd be better if he worked in a rotation. And then once he grows, becomes more consistent in some areas of his game, I think he could be a stud. So, I would have preferred a corner if I were the Cardinals, just based on what they need. I would have probably rather liked Jahad Campbell here as well. But I can't say it's a terrible pick. Can't say it's terrible. It's not one of my favorite picks, though. I'm not as high on Nolan as some other people. Okay, so the Bengals at number 17. Leslie, thank you so much for the super chat. Who do I think Tampa goes with? I'm going to go Campbell or Shamar Stewart. Or maybe Malachi Starks, but my first choice would be Jahad Campbell. $5.25 remaining in round one. Bengals are on the clock. My choice would be Mike Green. I think this would be a home run pick if that's who they go with. If not, I could see Derek Harmon or Shamar Stewart. Maybe Jahad Campbell. Where does Starks go? I think he could go as high as Tampa. My guess would be maybe Minnesota, the Ravens, or the Bills. Those would be places that I think he could go to. Leafs beat the Sens in overtime, Caesar? Yeah, I like Green. Big Green guy. I like the money. Give me some money. So, will another quarterback be picked? Will another quarterback be picked in this first round? In terms of the Bengals, again, you look at their needs, quarterbacks covered, wide receivers covered, running backs covered, tight ends covered, tackles are good. They could use a guard. Defensive tackle is a maybe. I feel like they did address that slightly in the draft or in free agency with Slayton from the Packers. Defensive end, definitely a need. Linebacker could be a need depending on what happens with Pratt, but they have Logan Wilson and Oren Burks. Secondary is also a need. Defense for the Bengals, and then maybe a guard in this class. Currently on commercial, waiting for their pick. I expect it to be an edge. I think it would be Green or Stewart would be my opinion on who they'll pick. All right, Greg. You do you, Greg. Greg's going to bed early. Bengals pick is in. With the 17th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Bengals select Shamar Stewart, edge out of Texas A&M. So the Bengals land the freakiest player in the draft. Big, fast, strong animal. Powerful. Rex plays, but needs a lot of work. Very raw as a pass rusher. Does not have much in terms of skill, hand placement or usage, or ability to get to the quarterback with a plethora of moves. Needs to be developed a lot. But his quickness, his size, his power, it cannot be taught. He has incredible upside. A player like this typically goes first overall in an NFL draft with those measurables. But at times the tape is underwhelming for the pass rush, right? And he just needs to be developed a lot. So this is a pick for the Bengals that they're counting on Al Golden to be able to take this guy, mold him into a monster, essentially. All the traits. And I think he will be good against the run right away. He will be good against the run because he's so big, he's so strong, and he is quick for his size. I mean, look at how easily he moves for that size. It's pretty crazy. Like, you can't really hate on this pick just because the upside at number 17 is outrageous. If they hit on that pick, they hit on a stud. The Seahawks are on the clock at number 18. Guys, if you haven't already, Gronk, spike the like button. Bengals get themselves some defensive line help. I like it. 350 left in the selection for the Seahawks. Do I think Hairston goes to the Ravens? Unlikely. For Seattle, I expect it to be offensive line. Zabel would be the top choice. Simmons is possible. Connerly is possible. Other positions, maybe a corner like Will Johnson. Could they pick Will Johnson here? That wouldn't be too shocking. But I think it will be offensive line or the outside chance of corner. Otherwise, I don't really know what they would pick. I mean, would they pick Golden, like a fast wide receiver? The pick is in. They could use some speed at wide receiver. Yeah, Diamond, we'll see, man. New staff, right? Or like new defensive coordinator, so hopefully that changes some things. I know what you're saying, though. Nelson still thinks Mykel Williams is on the board. He's gone, bro. He's gone. He's long gone, bro. Seattle's pick is in. going to be offensive line. Let's speed this up a little bit, guys. Draft, let's speed this up. There's no way it should be this damn slow. I got to make a grades video after this. I got to do some homework for Bleacher Report. Come on, man. I don't got all night here. Come on, guys. Caesar's trying to hold us down with the timestamps, bro. Gronk spiked the like button, guys. Big Al says Seattle's receiver room also got gutted outside of JSN. Yeah, they added Cooper Kupp. Okay, Seattle's pick here. With the 18th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Gray Zabel, guard out of North Dakota State. I got that run right, jabronis. A bunch of you fools said Gray Zabel's not going to be the pick. He's overrated. He's a perfect pick for Seattle. They need interior protection for Sammy Darnold, who sees ghosts on a regular basis. He almost sees as many ghosts as Luigi, bro. He can play center. He can play guard. He even played tackle. The guy, I think, very, very high floor. Solid physicality in the run game. Not an incredible athlete, but I think he's like the most ready guard out of all of them. The most ready player to help Seattle. Right? They're showing his tackle highlights right now at North Dakota State. But this is a guy that can play literally all spots on the offensive line. In the NFL, I think he's a guard or a center, and I think probably in Seattle, a guard. But I could be wrong. I'm not 100% sure. He's going to help their pass protection. He's going to fit their zone-heavy scheme. He's got enough movement skills to be able to do that. You know, North Dakota State has produced a lot of good linemen as of late. So it's a very predictable, safe, but the right pick for Seattle. It's the correct pick, right? So at number 18, Seattle picks Gray Zabel. At number 19, Tampa Bay is on the clock. Seattle needed to address offensive line sooner rather than later, man. Their offensive line has been booty cheek. Booty cheek. Their interior last year was the worst in the league. Worst in the league, Big Al. Gronk, spike the like button. Send over some super chats if you're feeling nice. Bucks are picking. I assume it will be Jahad Campbell. Will Campbell said he'll die for Drake May. Is that what he said? Diamond says Green had assault allegations that scared Cincy away. That's, yeah, I'm sure it is what it is. He's going to land in Philadelphia. He's going to put up 15 sacks for Big Al's team, and we're all going to look stupid. We're all going to look stupido. Only one quarterback taken so far, guys. Will there be 2? Will there be 3? We will find out. The Bucs pick is in. Kat says, I got them picking Campbell, but Simmons or Green. Green is a possibility. I wouldn't understand a wide receiver if they went wide receiver. That wouldn't really make sense to me. I guess that Godwin and Evans are getting a bit old, but they just signed Godwin. McMillan's on the team. I mean, they really need another receiver? Is the guy going to play? Unless they're uncertain about Godwin's recovery, but why would they sign him to all that money? Which pick's the most shocking so far? Just the trade, the Jacksonville trade. Colston Loveland over Tyler Warren was pretty shocking, I would say. Alex says, I guess it was that high of a need and the big picks didn't make it out of the top 3. Jags were nuts, though, and may have given the Browns hope. You know how bad that can be. That was a great trade for the Browns. I'm not sure they should have went with Mason Graham, but it was a great trade. I mean, they got a shit ton. Getting a future first is beautiful. Christian says, I'm telling you, Sanders is a bust. Steelers better not draft him. Please, God, no. 19th pick is in for Tampa Bay. We're waiting on it. 20th pick is Denver, and 21st is where the drama begins with Pittsburgh. The drama begins and potentially ends. Tampa Bay, pick is in. With the 19th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers take wide receiver Emeka Egbuka out of Ohio State. I like the Bucs a lot. They're one of my favorite teams. I don't understand this pick. Emeka Egbuka could be a very good player. He's actually comped to Chris Godwin pretty frequently. Tough, highly intelligent, very refined route runner, ready for the NFL. But Mike Evans is on this team. Chris Godwin is on this team. McMillan is on this team. He's been a number 2 receiver his entire career at Ohio State. I don't think he's a number 1 in the NFL. I think he's a number 2. 6 foot 202. Right? I just don't get it. I just don't get it where their team is at. Right? I just don't understand that. Because I think they could use Jahad Campbell big time. I think they could use an edge rusher. I think they could use a safety. For them to go out of their way and pick a wide receiver who in year 1 is going to be wide receiver 4 just doesn't make any sense. Unless they plan on trading Mike Evans or Chris Godwin, which I don't think is going to be the case, I don't really understand this pick. Why would they re-sign Chris Godwin? Why would they not let him sign with the Patriots? I like Emeka Egbuka. I think he's good. I don't think he's great. I don't think he's a special wide receiver talent. I think he's solid. Very reliable. Right? I don't understand. I don't get it where, being a playoff team the way they are, a borderline contender the way they are, to pick a guy that might be your 4th receiver. I just don't understand that. This is, in my opinion, the strangest pick of the first round. The strangest. Now, could Emeka Egbuka be good? Yeah, but I don't know, man. With where they're at, I don't see it. I don't think he's explosive enough to be a number one receiver in the NFL. I really don't. I don't know the one area of his game that allows him to be that. That being said, he's a chain mover. He's tough, right? Could he, at his best, maybe be like a St. Brown type? Potentially. I don't know. I feel like this team needed a defensive player. Their defense was not good last year. And they didn't pick one. So I don't know. I can't say that I like that pick. That's one of the worst picks in my opinion. And I love the Bucs. I'm a big Bucs fan. Hey, Strawberry. Thanks for joining. Yeah, hopefully Jason Light makes up for it down the rest of the draft. But personally, I can't say that I like this pick. I can't say that I can give this a good grade. The Broncos are up, which should be really interesting. Guys, if you haven't already, Gronk, spike the like button. It helps out this video. It helps more people find the live stream, and it helps the channel. Gronk, spike the like button, and if you're not a jabroni, subscribe. Also, super chat if you're feeling nicey. Leslie super chatted. Tori also super chatted 5 times. Big Al says, I don't like it at all. That was, I think, a wasted pick, he says. Yeah, I can't disagree. Denver's picking Sanders? No chance. Jake's in the chat. What's up, Jake? How's it going, man? It's been a minute. I think they're going to pick a running back or a wide receiver here. Nelson says Barron. Possible. Will Johnson. Imagine Will Johnson and Pat Surtain on the outside. That'd be crazy. I can't rule out those guys, I guess. But it does feel like this could be Golden. This could be Golden. This could be Hampton. This could be Henderson. This could be... Yeah, this could be one of the corners. Matthew Golden to the Broncos, I think, would be a good pick. I think that would be a good pick. I don't know if that's Sean Payton's type, though. He's more into the bigger guys at wide receiver. The Chargers are going to be pretty interesting. If Golden is there, would they pick him? All right. Big Al says kicking it with the homie Mitch on draft night, as always. As always. Okay. Pick is in for the Broncos. Adam, I don't understand why they didn't pick Campbell, though. Like, they need a linebacker. Brand says Duval. Or how does Cohen say it? Duval, Duval, Duval. Duval. All right, Broncos pick is in. Might be a shocker. Sean Payton's always good for shockers. Nelson says, bro, love the channel. Been subscribed for about 4 years. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you for telling me that. I love to know when people subscribe. That's awesome. I haven't seen you too often in the comments, though, so you should come around more often. If we could get to 100 likes tonight, I'd be so excited, guys. I'd be so pumped. If we could get to 100 likes. That's the goal. 100 likes. We need 30 more. With the 20th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos select Jahdae Barron. Nelson's on a roll. He's probably reading the Twitter. Cornerback out of Texas. Okay, so we talked about it. Running back felt likely. Hampton, Henderson on the board. Wide receiver felt second most likely. Golden still on the board, but like we said, not Sean Payton's type of guy. Maybe if T-Mac was still there, right? But the best value on the board was probably cornerback. Between Barron and Johnson, you had two guys that could contribute to your team. And Barron is a baller. Like, simply put, this guy can make plays. He's a feisty tackler near the line of scrimmage. He's a playmaker, sees the game extremely well. I think he is a guy that's going to have multi-interception seasons on top of multi-interception seasons. He reads, he reacts to the play very well. I would say he's a much better zone corner than man corner, but if you put him in the nickel position, he probably would be able to hold his own against a lot of the quicker, shiftier receivers in man coverage. And this is kind of like the Chris Harris to the Aqib Talib if you're the Denver Broncos. Like, if Pat Surtain, the reigning defensive player of the year, is your Aqib Talib, this could be your Chris Harris, right? Playing inside the formation and being able to hold up there, right? And he just has really impressive plays on his tape where he is just like kind of ad-libbing and kind of seeing things before everything happens and reading and reacting to the play. So I think he'll be at home as a nickel defender where he's able to blitz, kind of like a Trent McDuffie, right? He's able to cover and do a lot of different things. So I like this pick quite a bit. I like this type of player. And he's physical too. I like this pick. I don't love it just because I feel like they should probably have picked an offensive player. But I like it. I can't say I don't like it. He's a really good player. And they had a small need at corner. Like, a small need. They have Riley Moss, who's pretty good. They have Pat Surtain, but that nickel position could definitely be upgraded. Plus, he could play safety too. So, it's a good pick. It's a good pick. Ben's in the chat. What's up, man? Jim says Steelers stacking up on defense. Uh-oh. Don't spoil it. Christian says, OMG, we getting Hampton. Let's go. Don't spoil it. If it's a quarterback, I'm going to freak out. If it's not a quarterback, I'll actually be way more excited because I bet under 2.5 quarterbacks. Ben, who are the Chiefs going to take tonight, man? What position? Jake says, you telling me we got PS2 and that guy? Shit. Super Bowl bound. That being said, Broncos have to compete with Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert in their own division. Cornerbacks help that cause for sure. They also have to deal with Josh Allen, who they got slaughtered by in the playoffs. Pittsburgh Steelers. Pick is in. Who will it be? Claire says Shador. Claire's in the chat. My girl Claire. What's up, Claire? It's been a minute. I hope you're doing well with your teaching. I hope you're all happy and you're healthy. Thank you, Claire, for coming back to the chat. Ben says, don't say Pat Mahomes and Justin Herbert in the same sentence. All right. Steelers pick is in. We've got, who could it be? Harmon at defensive tackle. That could be the pick. It could be Will Johnson out of Michigan at corner. It could be Shedeur Sanders. It could be Jackson Dart. It could be Hampton. At number 21, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Derek Harmon, defensive tackle out of Oregon. And I am elated because this might allow me to win my biggest bet of the draft. Please, 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 please. Thank you, Steelers. I love you. Derek Harmon. There was rumors that the Steelers might trade back and land Derek Harmon. This has been a target for them all along. I love Derek Harmon. I think he has incredible upside. I don't know why he was not taken earlier in the draft. There were medical concerns about him. This guy literally looks like Cameron Hayward. Like he's Cameron Hayward 2.0. He led college football in pressures last year. He's also very stout against the run, right? So he's got that rare blend. I kind of think he's kind of like a Leonard Williams type of player, like comp. He's got long arms, wins with his long arms and his leverage and his quickness. And like I said, strong and powerful enough to play inside against the run. I also like this pick because Oregon and Pittsburgh play similar defenses. So the scheme transferable nature is pretty sound. So like, yeah, I think this is a great pick. I mean, I think Harmon, for some people, he was their favorite defensive tackle in the class. He might be the best pass rushing defensive tackle in the class. And that makes you worth a pick in this range. So at number 21, the Steelers don't go quarterback. They go with a big time defensive tackle. I'm a little surprised they didn't go running back either. I will say that. They didn't go running back either. $6'5", $315, says Jim. Strawberry thinks that the Chargers will go with Green. We'll see. I could see them going Green. Green's a good look. Will Johnson would make a lot of sense. He's a Michigan guy. What teams could trade into the back end of the first round? The Browns, they have pick 33. The Giants, they have pick 34. Who else? Saints. I would say the most likely is the Giants. Or the Browns, because the Browns have all that ammunition. Jaden says I'm cute as fuck. I know. Thank you. Thank you, Jaden. That's what your mom told me, actually. So I appreciate it. When is Will Johnson going? I think Will Johnson is going to the Los Angeles Chargers. Packers? Yes. I think, yeah, Will Johnson in the next two picks makes a lot of sense. Guys, one more like for 75. One more like. I know that Jaden hasn't done it. Like the video, Jaden. Come on, bro. Gronk spiked the like button. Pittsburgh has a damn good pass rush. They don't just have a little bit of a pass rush. They got a damn good pass rush. Come on, Jaden. Don't be a dick. Don't make me tell your mom, bro. Come on. Chargers on the clock. Bears. No, wait. Bills. Okay, we'll see. Super chat. If you wanna donate, super chat, man. It should be at the bottom of the chat. Meep. What's up, Meep? How you doing? So for the Chargers, yeah, I would pick Will Johnson. If I were the Chargers, I'd pick Will Johnson right here. Mike Green. I love Mike Green. I would also pick Mike Green. I don't think there'll be a team for Jahad Campbell because I don't think they need a linebacker. And I don't think they're going to pick a safety because they have really good safeties. They don't need an offensive lineman. This could also be a Matthew Golden pick, too. They need a wide receiver. There's no tight end available. So, yeah. Matthew Golden, Will Johnson, Mike Green. Am I missing anybody? I don't think so. It's because of the lack of quarterbacks, Strawberry. You think Josh Simmons would follow the Chiefs? I think he is going to. Unless the Texans take him. But I think the Texans... Okay, so Tyler Booker already went. They might pick Simmons. Who else could they pick? Maybe Connerly or... They're going to pick an offensive lineman. I mean, 100%. Connerly or Donovan Jackson, maybe? I do. You know what's funny, Leslie? I do kind of have blonde hair. It's the lighting. It's like a sandy blonde. It's not pure blonde, but I do have more blonde hair. It's just the lighting. Alex says, okay, in the second round, what options would the Patriots have if they decide to go wide receiver? Jaden Higgins, Noel Williams, maybe Golden slides there. I highly doubt it. Who else? Those are probably the primary candidates. Hairston to the Packers has been heavily connected. I kind of hope he goes to the Bills. I want the Bills to get him. Burden's another one, yeah. Yeah, that's like 5 options right there. Mike Green is falling. It must be because of off-the-field concerns. I can't see it being because of the tape. I can't see it. The tape is too good. It must be off the field. Let's see what the Chargers do. Nick Saban is trying to talk up Shedeur Sanders. Well, the Packers aren't going to pick him. The Chargers aren't going to pick him. And the Vikings aren't going to pick him. So the Texans aren't going to pick him. Maybe the Rams. The Chiefs could use a quarterback upgrade, so maybe them. The Chargers have 5 seconds left on the clock. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. The pick is in. That is cheating. The Chargers just cheated. I demand a recount. 2 likes for 80, guys. 2 likes for 80. Gronk spiked the like button. I like Desmond Howard's fro, bro. Can't lie. I kind of wish the Chargers got passed up. That would be hilarious. That would have been so funny. Strawberry would have turned into a blueberry after that. True, Ben. You're right. They got Gardner Minshew. He does have the best jorts in the league. Flag on the play. Wild 2, Golden Knights 1. Okay. Come on, Chargers. Let's go, man. I'm trying to watch the draft. Why are they choking again? Guys, you aren't going to believe this pick. You aren't going to believe this pick. This is so bad. What are the Chargers doing? With the 22nd pick, the Los Angeles Chargers select Omarion Hampton, North Carolina running back. They just signed Najee Harris to a crazy contract, and then they draft a running back in the first round. What? What? This is just, I don't even know. I think this is an awful pick. I like Hampton. He's a good player. He's not even close to Genty, in my opinion. Not even close. I understand the Chargers want to run the ball. I understand that Hampton might actually be better than Najee Harris, okay? I'm not even going to debate that. He's a well-rounded, big back that can catch the ball, that can run it. He's explosive, right? I don't think he's the most twitchy, elusive. I think he could be better in that department. But slasher with speed. Okay, he kind of reminds people of DeMarco Murray-ish type player. He kind of looks like Joe Mixon in some ways. Don't think he has the vision of Joe Mixon, but this is just, to me, a waste of a pick. Like, I understand you want to run the ball. You could get a running back later in the class. Like, you've got Matthew Golden sitting there at wide receiver that you could help Justin Herbert with a speed wide receiver. You've got the best corner out of your program, Will Johnson, sitting there. You've got, Mike Green to help your pass rush. I would have been happier with Jahad Campbell. There's so many other players that could help your team. They pick a freaking running back. Like, what are they doing? The Chargers are always going to Charger, guys. They're always going to Charger. I just don't get that one. I know that he's good, but like, man, I don't know. They could have done a lot better there. Packers are up. Packers are getting trade calls right now. I wonder for who. Maybe the Texans. The Texans have been trying to trade up. Hey, what's the dislike for? Don't do that, jabroni. We need one more like for 80, guys. Chargers gonna Charger, says Claire. Stars and Knights, what's up, man? Thanks for joining the chat. Are you subscribed, Stars and Knights? I don't think the Texans will take wide receiver. I think they'll take offensive lineman. Strawberry says, if Green Bay doesn't go Johnson, I'll be surprised. Johnson or Hairston? It depends on what they think of Johnston's medicals. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Singh says, I need the Ravens to trade up. I think the Ravens are sitting pretty. I think they can get an edge or a safety where they're picking right now. So I think they're fine. Exactly, Adam. They drafted the one hole they filled in free agency. Exactly. They could have easily just picked a third down. They could have picked a third round running back, and that would have been way better. Like, they could have picked like RJ Harvey or something. Packers could go D-line. I doubt it. I just don't think there's anyone on the board that they would pick. Not that's their type, at least. I think it will be a corner. It depends on what they think of Will Johnson's medicals, though. Big Al says, here's a slogan, Mitch. The bottom line view. No jabronis allowed. I like it. I might have to use that one. I don't think Green or Pierce are their type. They usually like the big, long edge rushers like Michael or Shamar Stewart would have been their type of guy. I don't think that Pierce or Green are their types. But I do think that Baltimore would like those guys. I think, who else is picking? Maybe the Chiefs would take a chance. The Bills and the Commanders, potentially. Who picks 26 is the Ram. They're not going to take a pass rusher. 27, Ravens. Eagles, too. Eagles would take one of them. You can always go back and watch it. I like it. I don't love Stewart. I think he's very raw, so it's a little risky, but he's got crazy traits. I do think it was the right position that they picked, so I can't really blame them. So it was the biggest need, in my opinion. He's going to be really good against the run right away, so that's nice. He's an excellent athlete with great upside. I just don't love his pass rushing ability because he doesn't know how to rush the quarterback, so he's going to need a lot of teaching. So it's a risky pick, but it could have crazy upside. So at number 17, I can't hate it. I can't hate it at 17. Again, like, I like Green a lot. I just feel like he's falling because of the off-the-field stuff. I like Pierce too, but he also has off-the-field stuff. Okay, so there's Packers 23. Pick is still not in. No trade. Packers are picking. Jake says, later, folks. Go Broncos. Looking forward to watching them in February 2026. Sing, everybody thinks they need a safety but you because Kyle Shanahan said 2 different players, but 2 good players. He compared Michael to Eric Armstead. I did that on the broadcast. I did that too. Me and Kyle are thinking alike. Okay. Packers pick is in. Stars, don't spoil. Damn it, Stars. Stop. We forgot about wide receiver. Wide receiver is an option. Christian Watson's hurt. If the Vikings get Will Johnson, my goodness, bro. Fuck. What? Big Al. Big Al's going to knock on your door. 2 likes till 85, guys. 2 likes till 85. Who did the Falcons take? The Falcons took... Which jabroni did they take? I can't even remember. Guys, who did the Falcons take? Did they take Walter Nolan? No. Jalen Walker. Yes, Jalen Walker. Yes. All right. Mark Murphy is announcing the Packers pick. '23 Green Bay Packers. Oh my goodness, just announced the damn pick already. Brock Purdy. Look at how many people are in this stadium, bro. Gosh. I hate how long it takes for them to make a pick. With the 23rd pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers select. For the first time since 2002, the Green Bay Packers select wide receiver Matthew Golden out of Texas. They light the crowd up at Lambeau. The Packers took a receiver. Wow. As Aaron Rodgers is watching, 4.29 speed, blazing. He fits right in with the Packers' speedy wide receiving core. Like I said, Christian Watson out for probably most of the season. Romeo Doubs, Jaden Reed, Wicks. Maybe they trade a receiver. Maybe they trade one. Very possible. But Golden, I like him. He can play all over the formation. He's got great speed, obviously. The key to his game is very crisp route running. No wasted movements in his route running. Snaps his routes off. Creates separation. I think he could be really productive with the Packers, given how Matt LaFleur schemes up his receivers to get wide fucking open, butt-ass naked, running against zone coverage. You get a guy with this speed, the ball in space, you're going to have a lot of big plays. So, yeah, he's a man-to-man beater. He's a speedster. You could throw him the ball underneath, make plays. He excelled his most down the stretch of the Texas season. 5'11", 191. Not a big guy. I think you would prefer that he plays as the Z. But yeah, footwork and speed. Footwork and speed. That's what Matthew Golden is. Footwork and speed. I love that they took the wide receiver in front of their own crowd. That's pretty cool. I like this pick. I probably would have rather them taken Will Johnson, but they needed a receiver. And I've been complaining about how they needed that missing piece on offense, that missing piece of a playmaker. So they get that potentially here with Matthew Golden, so I can't blame them about that. Vikings pick is in. 2 likes away from 85. Gronk spiked the like button. Vikings are trying to speed up the draft because these jabronis are taking forever. Kat says, I got Iman Worry going to Minnesota. Not a spoiler, just my prediction. I just saw what their pick is. It's not him. It is a position of need. Watson's injured. I don't think he's going to get moved. I think they could move Dobbs. I wouldn't be surprised. There's the upside for a wide receiver one Funky Lions fan, that's for sure. The Vikings do not take a safety, guys. I will tell you that right now. I just saw it on my phone. They don't take a safety. The pick is in. Houston is probably not excited about that pick, but we'll see who Houston goes with at 25. Then the Rams are at 26, who I don't know what they're going to do. They don't have many. I would say safety, corner, offensive line, guard. Adam Schefter just tweeted, Giants are trading back into the first round. Texans are trading back. Or wait. Texans or Giant? Wait, Texans or Rams? Ian Rappaport just said Rams. Texans. With the 24th pick, the Minnesota Vikings select Donovan Jackson, guard, out of Ohio State. This is a solid pick. I like Donovan Jackson. He's a beast. This man is powerful. This man is a bully. He played tackle because he needed to at Ohio State after Josh Simmons got hurt. He has some nasty reps. I think he's going to be very sturdy for J.J. McCarthy on the inside. He's going to help out their run game. Yeah, he's a really solid pick. Really solid pick. The Vikings offensive line now is absolutely set. O'Neal on the right, Darrisaw on the left, Jackson, Fries, and Kelly. That's one of the best offensive lines in football. He played tackle, he played guard. And he was good at both. I would say he's better at guard. He has some limitations at tackle. You know, he lost some reps to Abdul Carter, but just a powerhouse with great anchor inside. It's going to help out J.J. McCarthy. They set up their young quarterback very, very well. The Giants have moved up to number 25. The Giants, not the Texans. They are on the clock. 2 likes from 85, guys. If we get to 90 by the end, I'd be excited. Thank you so much. 85 likes. Let's go. 3:45 on the clock for the Giants. I assume this will be a quarterback. The Rams, the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Eagles, the Bills are up there. The Commanders. This will be a quarterback. My guess would be Shador, but it could easily be Dart. It could maybe even be Jalen Milroe. Do we think 3 quarterbacks will go in the first round? Do you think another team would trade up? I don't think so. That seems like a lot. 2 teams trading up in the first round? I would lean Sanders, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was Dart. I wouldn't. Milroe would be awesome, says Demetrius. So a little bit of excitement at the end of the draft here. Let's go. Claire says Shador going to New York. I don't know, Claire. It could be someone else. What if it's Jalen Milroe? Trying to scare Christian. 5 likes from 90, guys. They did have that extra meeting with Shedeur. That's why he came first to mind. But I will say Jackson Dart has been getting a lot more momentum than a lot of other quarterbacks in this class. Like, Dart has been getting more momentum as a first-round pick than Shedeur. I will say that. The safeties are still on the board. So the Bills, the Ravens, the Commanders could all take a safety. There's still a couple really good pass rushers. Enzaraku, Pierce, Green, all on the board. Do the Browns or the Saints trade into the first? The Browns certainly have the capital to make it happen, but they also pick first in the second round. So unless some other team wants to jump them, then I doubt it. Who knows, too? The Browns might prefer Milroe or Shuck. Like, they might not like Shedeur. You never know, right? The Saints, I think they liked Dart. There was no real... Maybe what happened was the Giants and the Saints had a bidding war to get into the first round. Maybe that's what it was. That could have been what it was. I don't know. Like, if the Saints... Like, if this is Dart, then the Saints might not trade back in the first round because they might not like anybody to that level. So, I don't know. I mean, it's possible. The Falcons are on the clock. Trade. Okay. The Falcons. Will they pick Mike Green? Or Will Johnson, maybe? The Texans got a second, a third, and a future third. Pretty good trade for them. They got an early second this year from the Giants. Early third. That's a good trade for the Texans, I think. What do you guys think? Quinn Ewers will probably go in the 4th or the 5th. I would think. I don't know if he's going to go to the Rams, man. So the Rams at 26 is interesting. Is that... Okay. The New York Giants pick 25. With the 25th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Jackson Dart, quarterback. Throwing darts at the board, Ole Miss. Jackson Dart is going to New York. I will say I love the personality in New York. I love the aura. Jackson Dart's got the aura. Okay. What I like about Dart too, I think he sees the field in terms of his progressions better than Shedeur. I think that he's really good off play action. He's really good in the screen game and the RPO game. He needs a lot of development in terms of traditional drop back pass. He needs a lot of development in terms of, I don't think he has a great arm. I don't think he's a superb athlete, but he's a good enough athlete. He definitely can move a little bit. He's tough. He's thick. He can take a hit. I will say, I don't think he'll be a superstar, but he could be a solid quarterback because I see enough there where he's accurate in the middle of the field. He can make the intermediate throws. I don't know who would be a comp. Like, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I don't really have a comp for him, but he's a big Star Wars fan. I know that. Rams are trading with the Falcons. Falcons are not going to take a quarterback, all right? But, yeah, I think Jackson Dart over Shedeur Sanders is interesting. I think Sanders is more accurate. I think Sanders showed that he could do more with less of an offensive line and less of a system. But I think Dart was more aggressive throwing the ball downfield. I think he was better at seeing the field. I think overall he made better processing decisions. And he's a little bit more athletic. So there's some things to like about both players. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Dart in New York. But they had to take a chance on a quarterback in this class. They really did. So they went up and they got one. Can't blame them. The Falcons are back. The Falcons are back at number 26. Will they take a quarterback? The Falcons are idiots. They are trading a future first to the Rams to come up back into round one. The Rams trade 46, 242, and a first round pick next year to get number 26 and 101. The Rams got a future first out of the Falcons. And a second. A future first and a second. What? The Falcons are jabronis, man. They're so excited. They just gave away a future first that's going to be a top 15 pick. And, oh my God, this team's an idiot. This team, man. The Rams just stole a first round pick in the top 15 of a better draft because the Falcons are impatient. Oh. Falcon's gonna Falcon. It is a decent pick. I saw the pick. It's a decent pick. It's not my preferred pick, but it's a decent pick. Why would you give up a first and a second? At number 26, the Atlanta Falcons. With the 26th pick, they select James Pierce, edge out of Tennessee. So, the Falcons got Jalen Walker earlier in the draft, who projects best as an edge, but could also be a linebacker. Now they select an edge truly in James Pierce. One thing that stood out for me with him, incredible pop off the ball. Great first step. I think he's got pretty good pass rushing skills. He's not the bendiest of the group, but I think he uses his hands and sets up tackles really well. Very competitive. And one area that I thought he was very underrated, he can drop into coverage. He has incredible athleticism. He is quick, twitchy, and actually fast. Like, the guy can move really well. He can move, okay? And he uses a really good speed rush to get to the quarterback. But, like, he dropped in the coverage and made some plays. Like, so that versatility between him and Jalen Walker is pretty interesting and pretty fun. And he made a number of plays for Tennessee as a pass rusher the last 2 years, really. I just don't like the trade. I like the pick. I don't like the trade. You know, too much to give up, in my opinion, especially considering the off-the-field potential issues that James Pierce might bring with the characterization of why he could have fallen this far. But The Falcons are going all in, man. Could the Steelers trade up to get back into the second round? Yes, they could. Jordan Schultz just tweeted, reaction by one source to the Falcons trading a future first to come back in. What the fuck? The Ravens are going to go with a safety, I think. They could go with Mike Green, though. That would be crazy. Also, in New York, Dart probably won't play very much this year. He's probably sitting for a year. Ravens taking Mike Green, that wouldn't concern me at all as a Steelers fan. They might. They might. It depends on what they think. Watch the Chiefs get him. The Chiefs, the team full of criminals. They're going to get him. I do have a bet for the safety. I put $10 on the Ravens to pick a safety, so I hope I'm right. The Blues are up 3-0 on the Jets. Ooh, okay. Okay. Robert says Falcons are desperate and impatient. It might cost them later. It's going to cost them. Hey, the Ravens are taking a safety. I just won $70. Let's go. I'm not going to tell you which one, though. The Ravens are taking a safety, sing. The Ravens are taking the safety, sing. $70 for Mitch. Let's go. Four likes for 90, guys. Let's try to get 90 by the end. 90 by the end. 90 by the end. Let's go. Gronk spiked the like button, homies. Sing can't believe it. I told you, Sing. You didn't believe me. No, he wasn't true American. I don't think he's going to get picked. I think the Browns will just take him at 33 if they want him. Ravens pick is in. It's a safety. Sing doesn't like it. Who is it, though? Detroit, Washington pick at 28 and 29. Funky Lions fans waiting for his Lions pick. Who do you think they're going to go with, Funky? D-end? That could happen, Strawberry. Shuck is also in the conversation, too. With the 27th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select safety Malachi Starks out of Georgia. Smart, instinctive, range, and the ability to be versatile, playing a lot of different coverage schemes, which Baltimore very much values. Great character, great communication skills. That's a safety for Baltimore right there. So the reason the Ravens wanted a safety, Washington, one of their current starters, has 1 year left on his contract. Marlon Humphrey also has 1 year, kind of weird situation with his contract. And, this is a free safety type that allows Kyle Hamilton, to be at his best. You can move Kyle Hamilton around. Malachi Starks is essentially a replacement for Marcus Williams. That's essentially what he is. A replacement for Marcus Williams, right? So, center fielder, 6 foot, nearly 200 pounds. A chess piece for Baltimore secondary, which they always value. They love their secondary. One reaction to the Ravens taking Starks, vintage Ravens. Detroit is on the clock. Hey, Peter, what's up, France? How you doing, man? He says, go, Pack, go. Starks was my favorite safety in the draft. It's not a great safety class, but he was my favorite safety in the draft. Really smart player. The Lions pick is in. I think the Lions need a guard or a defensive end. Those are by far their biggest needs. Crazy that Jahad Campbell's still on the board. Ezra could make sense. Green. Those are the only real edge. Maybe, what's his name? Scourton. Maybe him. Connerly out of Oregon. You could slide him to guard. Simmons hasn't gone yet. Washington's pick will be interesting. You would think that would be edge rusher or safety too. I'm going to go with Connerly here. I'm just going to go off the board. Connerly, they'll play him at guard. That's going to be my pick. You're not excited about Golden? Why not? I would be excited if the Packers finally picked a wide receiver in the first round. That's an exciting pick. I don't think Campbell's going to be the pick because they already have linebackers, bro. I mean, do they really need another linebacker? I think, unfortunately, Jahad Campbell is going to be probably an Eagle. Makuba is a dog. That's a good shout. Okay, this is a weird pick by the Lions. I just read it. That is a strange pick. I gotta say, this might be the worst pick of the first rounds. I didn't see this guy going in the first round at all. I don't know about this pick. This is some Cole Strange like shit. We'll see. We'll see what they do here. I don't know if Funky Lions fans gonna like this very much. At number 29, Washington. Number 30, Buffalo. Okay. I'll tell you, Claire. I'll tell you when it comes up. Come on. Be patient. Is this ref on crack? Caesar, how you doing with the timestamps? We doing okay? Yeah, but I actually liked Campbell and Gibbs a lot, so I don't know about this one. We'll see. I just didn't see him as a first rounder. The Detroit Lions select defensive tackle Tyleik Williams out of Ohio State. Big run defender, inside, massive human. Massive. He is like 400 pounds. Okay. Not a pass rusher, though. I just don't really see the upside for this pick. I also don't really see the need that much at defensive tackle. 6'2", 334 pounds. Power, size, explosive for his size. He wasn't expected to go this high. He's probably going to be a solid NFL player because it's hard to teach that size. And he just eats up blocks and he stops the run. But I don't know, man. Like, late first round seems a little high, but it's their board. I also just don't think I like the need. Like, I would have rather them picked an edge or an offensive lineman. But that's just my opinion. Defensive tackle didn't feel like a huge need. That's just me, though. I don't know. Definitely won't get one of my higher grades. Yeah, I think they probably could have traded back. Who's the best pick? Abdul Carter? I mean, arguably. Who else? That's a good question, actually. Who's the best pick? I actually have to look at the draft to tell you. I like Membu to the Jets. I like Banks to the Saints. Warren to the Colts. Those would be probably my favorites. Starks to the Ravens is solid. I don't think it blows me away. I love Harmon. I actually really like McMillan to the Panthers. I didn't expect it at all, but I do like that pick. Will Johnson still hasn't been picked. Is he going to be a Buffalo Bill? That would be wild. Is he going to be a Commander? Was I shocked Loveland went before Warren? I was surprised. I'm not surprised that somebody preferred him because Loveland's really good. But I'm surprised that it actually happened. I will say that. I'm surprised about that. I think the most confusing pick was Ibuka by quite a bit. Commander's pick is in. Buffalo, Kansas City, and the Eagles pick at 30, 31, and 32. You would think this pick would be defense, but we'll see. Bills are going to get whoever they want. The Bills, oh my God. The Bills could get Ezeraku, Will Johnson, Hairston, Green. Oh my God. The Bills are going to be able to pick whoever they want on defense. The Washington Commanders select Josh Connerly Jr., offensive tackle out of Oregon. I love this player. Love this player. I think his upside is insane. But I don't love the need. They picked up Laramie Tunzel at left tackle. Maybe Connerly could play right tackle. They have Andrew Wiley at right tackle, I believe. Their guard positions are solid. Cosme is really good. So at least one of their starting spots is, taken care of. Allegretti is their left guard. So perhaps they could play him at right tackle, or Brandon Coleman's also there. Huh. Did they cut Andrew Wiley? I'm not sure. No, he's still on the roster. I guess he could play right tackle. Connerly is the best mover in the draft. His feet are insane. He's going to be great with Cliff Kingsbury in that run game. He needs to get a lot stronger and a lot more powerful, though. But the way that he moves, that's actually going to be really nice for Jaden Daniels. And I think he's going to be able to do everything Cliff wants in the screen game, all those quick throws that they do. Like Oregon, that quick offense, that quick RPO, quick screen game. He's going to be perfect for all that stuff. So I really like the fit for the player. I just didn't see it as a need because I thought that they were satisfied with their offensive line. I feel like edge, corner, or safety would have made more sense for the Commanders. So That's a little bit of a confusing pick, but I like the player a lot. Three likes for 90, guys. 3 likes for 90. The Bills could get a stud here. An absolute stud. The Bills, this could be a Super Bowl pick. This could be a Super Bowl pick right here. A Super Bowl pick. They could get Will Johnson, Hairston, Green, Ezeraku. Pick someone, Jahad Campbell. My gosh. There are dudes on defense on the board right now for the Bills. The Bills pick is in. Then at 31, we got the Chiefs. And 32, the Eagles. Simmons is also on the board. If the Chiefs want to go that direction. Should I just go on off of Twitter, guys, for the remainder of the picks instead of reacting to the broadcast? They seem to be delaying them. All right, the Bills pick is in. 1 like from 90, guys. 1 like. The Eagles are on the clock at 31. There was a trade. Eagles moved up 1 spot ahead of the Chiefs. I wonder if that's for Mike Green or Will Johnson. We don't know who the Bills pick is yet. They're announcing it right now. Very well, David. They're like 1 player away. The Buffalo Bills select Maxwell Hairston, cornerback out of Kentucky. That's who I had them picking. It's a good pick. I like this fit a lot. He is a great zone corner, incredible speed, 4.28. Can play man, can play zone. Great interception, ball production, playmaker, cornerback. He's going to be able to match up with Xavier Worthy with that speed. Zay Flowers with that speed, right? The primary AFC contenders. And he's also going to be able to help that cornerback position complement the opposite of Christian Benford, which is speed, right? Benford's the size. He's the speed. I do wonder if, what's going on with Will Johnson. I mean, what is going on there? And then also, like, what's going on with Mike Green? Like, those two guys are certified lock first rounders, and neither of them are getting picked. Now, the Eagles are at 31 and the Chiefs are at 32. So we'll see what happens with these two picks. I mean, the Eagles are going to take a chance. The Chiefs are going to take a chance on one of these guys. I just wonder. So the Eagles traded up to 31. I like that pick for the Bills a lot. They needed a corner badly. It was by far their biggest need. And he's got recovery speed as a corner. Nick Saban seems to like him a lot. He could get a little bit better as a tackler, but at corner, that's not a huge concern. The pick is in for Philly. I know who the pick is. I'll just say it. The Eagles are taking linebacker Jahad Campbell out of Alabama. Makes a lot of sense. Best linebacker in the draft. Eagles get a steal, of course. Has some injury concerns, apparently, but man, I mean, that's a huge position of need for them. Nakobe Dean, injured, not going to play next year, I don't think, or at least, concern there. They didn't re-sign Oren Burks. They needed a linebacker badly. He's got very good zone coverage skills, very good length. He can blitz as well. Vic Fangio loves his linebackers. He's going to be a great fit with Zach Bond. Seamless. Those two guys can complement each other very well. That's a great pick for the Eagles to continue to upgrade their defense. At number 32, the Chiefs are going to be on the clock. So that's interesting, though. The Eagles, a lot of people thought they might go edge, defensive tackle, right? Maybe even cornerback, but they decided to go with the linebacker, which was one of their bigger needs. Safety is another need that they could use, right? I did have a meal, Nelson. I'm going to have to make a video after this, too. I'm going to do my grades for each pick, which this year it's going to be really interesting because I honestly don't know how many, A's I have in this draft. There were a lot of picks where I was like, I maybe would have preferred somebody a little bit different, but so it's going to be interesting. So make sure you guys tune into that. Thank you for all the likes. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for all the love. We've got one pick remaining with the Chiefs. My guess for the Chiefs, it'll be Josh Simmons. Maybe Josh Simmons, maybe an edge like Green or Scourton, or, would they take? I don't think they'd take a corner. So I think it will be an edge or an offensive lineman. And I just want to see that their pick is in so that I know that I won my bet. Because I will be pumped if I won this bet. I also did win a bet on the Bills taking a corner. So I also won there. Safety from South Carolina? Maybe. It's possible. He could be there on Friday, though, Strawberry. Maybe he goes early on Friday. All right, let's finish strong here. 1 like away from 95, 6 likes away from 100. Can we get to 100? Oh my goodness. So, reminder, guys, first round draft grades coming out maybe tonight, possibly tomorrow morning, depending on when I want to release it, but I'm going to record it tonight. Tomorrow, I'll be live on Bleacher Report talking about 6 to 8 players and their landing spots in the second round. And I will also probably do the cut up. I might do cut ups of my reactions from this video and release that as well. And hopefully, if Caesar has the timestamps, I can just add timestamps to this video, and that would be helpful as well. Why did the Falcons give the Rams their top 15 pick next year? I don't know. That was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my life. Nick, I've told you before, the Falcons don't know what the fuck they're doing, sir. They are the worst. Okay, Chiefs, make a pick, please. Don't trade this. Nick, what do you think of Colston Loveland? The Eagles are still haven't announced the Eagles pick. Holy cannolis. I like the trade for Houston, too. With the Giants. I will say, though, I don't think the Giants really had to give up that much. But I thought it was a good trade for the Texans. The worst trade might have been Jacksonville's trade was pretty vicious, too. I'm not going to lie. But it was for Travis Hunter. Jahad Campbell's pumped. Chiefs are staying at 32. Let's fucking go, baby. I just won okay, I'll wait for that to get it. I'll wait for that pick to get in. Okay, it's in. Yes! Guys, I just won $2,000. Let's go. Actually more. I won 20, close to 2,500. Buck says Ravens great pick, dude. It was a good pick. Martin says thoughts on Campbell. People say we got to steal. I agree, Martin. It's a great pick. I talked about it briefly, but yeah, Campbell, I like his coverage skills. I like his length. I like the fact that he's really good as a blitzer. You can line him up on the edge. He can rush the quarterback a little bit if you want him to, but he's got great pursuit, very good feel for a linebacker, like best linebacker in the class by far. So, and he's a great fit too. Like him and Bond can do similar things. Like Bond could blitz, Campbell could blitz. Both can cover well. Both got very good range. Fangio knows his linebackers, man. I think it's a very good pick. And it was a need. Chiefs are selecting left tackle Josh Simmons out of Ohio State. Might be the best tackle in the draft, guys. He might be. Powerful. Really refined feet. Didn't play much this year. Donovan Jackson had to take over for him. But dominant in his reps last year, this year. Just a prototype left tackle. He probably won't play right away. The Chiefs don't need him to. But he could be the long-term left tackle for Patrick Mahomes, and he might be a stud. He's got the size. He's got the length. He's got the power to be able to play in that run game. Right? They love those type of guys. They love the Orlando Browns, right? That's this guy, Josh Simmons. Very good pick. It's the one everyone thought might happen. The Chiefs slid all the way back to the last pick of the first round and still got Josh Simmons, who might be the best tackle in the draft. That's all I got to say, guys. That's the draft, man. I'm going to get to grading every pick. Thank you to everybody that watched. Appreciate you. Gronk spiked the like button. We got 3 more to go for 100. If you haven't subscribed, you're a jabroni. You know it. I know it. We all know it. I hope you enjoyed the draft. I hope you enjoyed my coverage, my reactions, and I hope you had a fun time. And also, I hope you enjoyed your draft pick. I'll let you know what I think very soon. So make sure to tune into that draft grade video. And I'll be covering day 2 when it comes to the grades and my favorite picks and things like that as well. I won't be live, but I'll give you my analysis after the fact. A lot of good players remain for round 2. So round 2 is going to be really interesting, especially with some of the off-the-field concerns for certain players. Thanks for watching. It's Mitch. Peace.